call on Fox Sports. Boston Red Sox grabbed their fourth World Series championship in 15 years. David Price pitched into the eighth inning. Chris Sale pitched the last two and struck out Manny Machado for the win. Alex Cora becomes the first manager from Puerto Rico to guide a team to the title. Fifth rookie skipper to do it overall. Steve Pearce named the series MVP. The final score 5-1. This news and analysis, find them both at townhall.com.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. We the people.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Hey, it's Doc Thompson. Got the new show on MoJo 5-0 coming up. Hopefully you'll join us for that. And as a regular feature, my good friend, my life partner, Chef Patrick Mosier. I mean that in a food sort of way.
I would hope so.
Yeah. You'll be joining us on the broadcast as well?
Absolutely. Every day that you ask me to.
Talking food and business and prostitutes, right? Because you're the food biz pro, and that's what the pro's for.
It's all about cocaine and hookers.
It's all about cocaine and hookers until somebody gets arrested. And then it's about the legal system. And, well, you get the point. We'll be talking food and food trends and business. And, of course, we'll be spotlighting business, as I always have on my broadcast. But Chef Patrick Mosier will join us, and he has his own platform starting soon on Spoonie Radio.
Spoonie Radio, 24-hour food talk radio.
Can you really talk about food for 24 hours a day?
I could, but even I don't want to listen to myself talk about food for 24 hours. So we will have...
Somebody will.
Someone will be on the air 24 hours a day talking food, fun, travel, culture, and more than anything, food.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty Mojo 5-0.
Stop the music. Hold the phone. Hold the big rotary dial phone. Hold the Zach Morris size of a college textbook cellular device. Hold the hanging on the wall, Sarah, get me Mount Pilot, crank phone. Hold it. Stop it right there. There was a tragic event that does not warrant such up-tempo music. We need to take some time to give it the proper amount of reverence and respect.
Senator, this is probably a good time, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce you to Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Staggs.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's an important topic that we've got to discuss. Given the seriousness of the deadly incident in question, I knew there was one person, and one person only, I could go to discuss these dark days in which we live. So I want to thank you, Mr. Staggs. May I call you Steve?
Certainly. My name's Brad, but you can call me if you...
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely. Not a problem.
Although this is a time of great sadness, I hope you'll understand that my grief and my sorrow has given way to frustration and outrage over such a horrible.
Absolutely. And these synagogue murders, they are...
I'm not talking about the synagogue in Pittsburgh. I'm talking about faux bomb inequality. The disparity between the people who have or receive faux bombs in the mail and those who do not is getting wider and wider.
Okay.
Do you realize, Steve?
Yes, Senator.
Less than 1/10 of 1% of all presidential candidates got a faux bomb sent to them. Are you aware of this? This fake bomb inequality.
Absolutely, Senator. That's
Do you realize, Steve?
Yeah. Yes, Senator.
Less than 0.1% of all presidential candidates received 85% of all fake bombs.
That's
This
quite a
is the type of bomb or fake bomb inequality that can no longer exist in the greatest country on earth.
Oh, okay.
You know, there used to be a vibrant middle class in which many more people would get fake bombs. But now,
Right.
the Koch brothers have played puppet masters and have seen to it that only a select few receive phony, baloney explosive devices. What about the have-nots? What about me, Steve?
Yes, Senator.
Do you think that's fair? Because I dream of a world, and by dream I mean when I doze off at the post office in line, where there will be fake bombs for everyone. Everyone. You should have a fake bomb sent to you. Ron.
Ron Phillips.
That guy should have
Yes.
fake bombs sent to him. What about me? Shouldn't I have fake bombs sent to me? Do you think that's fair, Steve?
Well,
I have a plan.
All right.
It's a comprehensive plan where we would get all improvised, non-explosive devices. We would send one to everyone. It's a chicken in every pot and see forgeries in every mailbox.
Senator, the bombs.
Did you see what I did there with C forgeries, by the way?
Yes.
Did you catch that?
I did catch that.
Because they're
very
fake
clever.
bombs.
Very clever, Senator. Very clever. The fact that the bombs, I mean, they were still. This is something we have to deal with. This is a societal issue when you have someone sending bombs, real or fake,
Yes,
to candidates. This is an issue that we need to discuss.
Steve,
yes, Senator.
Yes, the bombs were not real. They were fake.
Yes, but
they still could have feigned down shrapnel upon anyone who was within millimeters of the fake bomb. Did you see what I did there with feign down?
I do, and I would like to actually ask you a more serious question. Why you're not more concerned with the real synagogue murders than these fake bombs that were.
This brings up another good point. Media coverage inequality. People not murdered over the weekend received far less media coverage than those murdered over the weekend. Do you realize, Steve, 1/10 of 1% of Americans who were not murdered over the weekend received 90% of the media coverage? Less than 1/10 of 1% of Americans who were not murdered over the weekend received 90% of the media coverage.
I think I see what you're saying here, Senator. You are actually up for re-election in just a few days, 8 days, as a matter of fact. And
yes.
Is it the attention that
feel
you're
very
looking
confident
for?
about my re-election campaign, but more importantly, it's my 2020 campaign for the presidency. My walk for the presidential office in 2020. In fact, I just wrapped up a 9-state campaign tour. Hopefully, I'll get to the other 39 very soon.
There's 50.
What?
50 states, Senator. There's now 50 states in the union. We've added
Somebody
a few.
get me a new flag.
We've added a few states here.
I'm missing some stars.
Yeah, there's 50 now. Not 57, but 50 states.
I was told there would be no math. 2020 is the real race, Steve. I plan to pick up where I left off in 2016.
All right,
where I left off.
Let me ask you this: what are you going to do? What are you going to do differently in 2020? I mean, what's your plan?
Steve, that is
different.
That is a very good question. Knowing what I know now, seeing the success of Bobby O'Rourke, for example.
Yes, Beto.
Yes, I would have highlighted my minority status last time, and I likely will this time. In fact, I would have campaigned with my childhood nickname, LeBron James.
Wait. Hold on. Your minority status, Mr.
Yes,
Senator Sanders.
yes.
What minority? What minority are you exactly?
I grew up in a community of albinos, and my dark skin made me a constant outcast. Constantly. People looked at my dark skin and judged me differently. I was bullied and harassed. Not harassed, but harassed.
Glad you
Therefore,
yeah.
I feel that pain still today that my beautiful Ebony Hughes caused me.
Are you
You know, Kanye West has launched a Blexit campaign.
Kanye West?
Kanye West, yes.
Kanye West. Yeah.
Campaign to get black voters to leave the Democrat Party. Well, Steve, I'd like to announce I have a plan today.
Yes, Senator. What is your plan?
All exit.
I'm sorry. Come again?
Old guy exit from the Republican Party.
Oh, I see.
And
what you're
Wexit.
saying. I'm sorry. What?
Wexit.
What's Wexit?
White people leaving, exiting the Republican Party.
So,
and also
guys and
Chris exit and men exit. Old white Christian men must leave the Republican Party. And that's what.
What? Senator. Oh, Senator.
Swetnick.
Yeah. What about Swetnick? Julie Swetnick.
What? I don't know anything about Swetnick.
Okay. Well, you brought her up. I was just asking.
No, I was telling you about
Senator.
LeBron James. LeBron and his Ebony Hughes.
LeBron James and his okay. What LeBron, Julie Swetnick? I'm not following you here, Senator. I'm having trouble.
You have to understand, I haven't been sleeping well.
I can understand that. You maybe a good time to move on.
Steve, let me say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for this country as a great Democrat, somebody who supports the Democrat Party and who simply...
Senator. Fortnite. Senator, I'm not quite sure exactly what this might be a good time to talk about Element Mattress, our sponsor for this portion of the program. Senator, thank you for
No, Steve.
But
thank you.
You're welcome, I think. Let's talk about Element Mattress, shall we? I mean, it's important to know what you're sleeping on this morning, especially
and who you're sleeping on this morning,
or rather, what?
Yes, lots of women have rape fantasies, but no usually means no.
Yes, it certainly does.
It's not the 70s where no meant maybe.
You know, after a long day here, sinking into bed at night is truly heaven. Before you hit those sheets tonight, we thought you'd enjoy maybe a little lullaby. You know, every year when we sleep, we perspire a little. We release a little sweat at night. Not much though, only about 26 gallons of sleep. We're sleeping with our skin flakes, with our dust mites. They love dead skin. They drink the moisture from our sweat. The mattress accumulates mold and bacteria, and our favorite dust mite poop. Yes, I said dust mite poop. Sleep tight this morning. It's time to upgrade that mattress or stop sweating. You decide what you're going to do. Learn more about the Element Copper mattress and how copper ion fabrics are scientifically proven to be antibacterial, antifungal, and kill dust mites in hours, even in a senator's bed. It's 100% made.
What? Swetnick?
What? No, not Swetnick. Sweat.
Rape train.
We're not a rape train. This is just sleeping at night in an Element mattress. It's 100% made in the USA. The Element comes with free delivery, 100 nights to sleep on it, free returns, and a full refund if you don't absolutely love it. Oh, and we give you a lifetime warranty as well. So you will truly
have a lifetime warranty, 248 years.
That's not a typical lifetime for you, maybe, Senator, but for the rest of us, it's just your standard lifetime warranty. Do not suffer with a sweaty mattress. Try an Element Copper mattress will let you sleep on it too. That's elementmattress.com if you'd like more information. Elementmattress.com.
Those things are pretty pricey, you know.
Well, actually, if you use the promo code MoJo50, you'll get Senator. If you use the promo code MoJo50, you'll get 50% off. Although on a senator's salary, you could afford to pay full pop. It's elementmattress.com. Use promo code MoJo50 for 50% off an Element mattress.
You know, that begs the question.
Yes, Senator.
What's a MoJo?
It is $20, same as downtown, sir. That's
Okay,
just so
at least we know.
Yeah, just so you're aware, it's $20, same as downtown.
Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on your MoJo 50. Please join us on the social media platforms and get the comments in. If deemed worthy by Ron, you'll be included in the show close.
Ron Phillips over there.
Okay.
Ron Phillips is running the board over there in the control room. There, right there. The comments already coming in, as a matter of fact. The interesting interview with Senator Sanders this morning.
Fascinating guy. Fascinating.
Let's see. 1024 Spook Taint Sleeve as Boyne Sanders. And who you're sleeping on, but no bell? Of course you get the bell. James in Louisiana. Doc Thompson show needs to get with Buck Sexton for some pointers on the Bernie voice.
Could be.
Wow.
Could be.
James in Louisiana says that. DMXDM, clearly Steve doesn't understand the inner workings of Bernie's mind or what little is left of it. It's Brad, but who's counting? Squirrel with pickled taint sauce. Senator, what will you be doing differently for 2020? I will properly groom my hair. All the other blah, blah, blah will be the same. Wait, are you saying that Senator Sanders is stuck in his ways?
9-state tour. He just wrapped up a 9-state tour.
9 states. Did he stay awake for the entire tour?
Most of it. By the way, he didn't campaign that much in his home state. So while everybody else running for Senate is campaigning primarily in their home state, where the voters are, he was on a 9-state tour outside of Vermont.
9 states.
He's running in 2020.
Yes, of course.
And Hillary is running in 2020.
And
Cory Booker is running in 2020.
And Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is likely. She's given less indication, but she clearly is. Elizabeth Warren is running as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, Martin O'Malley.
Which one's that?
Martin O'Malley.
Who's Martin O'Malley?
Okay, see, I did the same thing.
Who's Martin
DM
O'Malley?
and DM tweeted out over the weekend about Martin O'Malley was back in Iowa today. Brad, I saw it and I was like, how do I know that? Martin O'Malley. That sounds really...
Who's Martin O'Malley?
The governor of Maryland. Do you remember he was on stage this last time with the...
Wow.
Was it
Martin O'Malley?
Yeah, he was with... Who was on Lincoln Chafee and who else ran? Oh, former senator from Virginia, Jim Webb.
Oh, I kind of
remember now.
Now, yes.
And you're like, oh yeah, that other older white guy.
Martin
that's there.
Joseph O'Malley.
Right. How amazingly forgettable is this guy? If you had said who all ran last time was on stage, there's only like 5 or 6 Democrats.
Right.
And compared with like 42 Republicans that were on stage. Remember the wide, all those podiums and that. And so you look at him and you go, yeah, who is that guy? Martin. You have no chance at this thing. None.
No.
Zero.
No.
The fact that you were already on stage as a presidential candidate, and I, as a member of the media, was like, no. Martin O'Malley. That sounds really familiar.
Interesting. On his website, together, let's win back your state in 2018. That's what it says.
Okay.
Thank you, Bettendorf. Hey, you can donate. You can donate to the Martin O'Malley campaign anywhere from $5 to $50.
Well, that's certainly money well worth spending, right?
By the way, this is the most publicity that Martin O'Malley has gotten in a while. Right here this morning.
Oh, it's the only publicity he's gotten. He's like, they love me. They really love me.
Actually,
I feel really horrible for CNN and lots of people over the weekend, but CNN certainly feel really bad for them. It was a very big struggle over the weekend for them to try to figure out who to blame, guns or Trump, for the synagogue attack in Pittsburgh. They're like, Trump guns. What are we? Very confusing. Must have been horrible in their little staff meetings.
Yeah, I can imagine that their staff meetings in general are not the most pleasant things to take part in.
Yeah, that's got to be really bad. I would just like to say this about the entire coverage. Stop it. Knock it off.
They're not going to.
No, the entire thing. Left, right, it doesn't matter. Even the right, I have to challenge them on this. Stop condemning the attacks. Stop condemning stuff like this. I know you feel like you're forced to, but this is one of those scenarios when you give in to this nonsense and actually come out and say, this was a horrible, horrible thing. Who, aside from a couple of crazy, truly insane people out there, do not think the attack on the synagogue in Pittsburgh was abhorrent?
Yeah. I mean, why do you even need to say,
Right. So unless I say it was horrible, unless I condemn it, then you're like, well, I think Doc Thompson condones it. Silence is not condoning something.
I stand with CNN.
They may not have even heard about it.
I stand with CNN in condemning the synagogue attack.
You also condemn it?
Yes, absolutely.
See, you shouldn't also need to wait for anyone else to condemn it.
No.
You shouldn't judge them on whether or not they condemn it. Some of us just know it is so awful. We shouldn't have to condemn it.
Shooting anyone, you shouldn't have to condemn. You should, prior to it happening. I mean, it's insane that we've gotten to that point.
Did President Trump yesterday condemn cancer or rickets?
So you're saying that President Trump is for cancer and
He's
rickets.
Obviously pro-cancer and pro-rickets.
Right, that's true. He has not condemned them. You're absolutely
This is the asinine world that we have allowed people to create.
Yeah.
In the court of public opinion in media right now, to say, well, the president didn't condemn it, so he must condone it. Really? All of you people who've said that and suggested that on the left, have you condemned every horrible thing in the world today, yesterday, recently? There's not enough time in the day to condemn everything bad.
I condemn smallpox.
Right. Can you imagine getting up and reading that list every day?
No.
Oh, Brad mentioned smallpox, but he didn't mention cleft palates. Do you know the number of children that are affected by cleft palates every year?
I also
you want them to have a cleft palate?
I also condemn cleft palates as well. I just for the record. Now, measles, on the other hand, I'm all for measles.
Why do you hate puppies? I haven't heard you say a thing about heartworm.
I love puppies. I
Heartworm.
hate heartworm. Love puppies. Hate heartworm. Let me be perfectly clear on that stance.
Can you imagine? That's really what we're saying here.
Yes, of course.
11 people were murdered at a house of worship. Really?
You
need to. I don't hear any comment. I don't have to condemn it. Everybody knows it's horrible. So stop it.
Was the guy a registered Democrat or a registered Republican?
I don't know if they had how he was registered.
They were. I mean, they were very quick to point out.
He was obviously a Nazi.
The bomber was a registered Republican. They say.
Right.
I mean, I'm surprised that they haven't come out.
Can we at least do that? See, if we start with assuming that most people believe that murder is bad. Think about that.
We've come to that point.
We're now waiting for people to chime in on if they think murder is bad. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
If we can at least all, left and right, just say, stop it, and all agree that normal, sane people, most people in the world believe that murder is bad, then we can move on and maybe accomplish some other things. But I got to tell you, if we can't get to that point, it is over. It's done. The only person who is responsible for committing a crime like that jackass in Pittsburgh did is that jackass in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Which brings up the next point, culpability. Not only is it, well, you condone it unless you condemn it, you're also culpable in the murders.
Yeah, I mean that's what essentially they're blaming Trump for all of the, it's his tweets
and blaming
it's his
you
everything.
too, Brad. Blaming you. You're on the right. You're in the media. You got to blame you. Number one, unless you outwardly condemn it, you are condoning it, they say, and that condoning it makes you culpable, that you are actually partially responsible for it. No, I have warned about this for a long time. Because, and people on the right have done this too when it comes to things. They want to culpability. Well, so-and-so said this and whatever, so we want to know. Right. The only person responsible for committing those murders is the person who did it. Now, we have other legal definitions and designations where we say you may have helped somebody do something or whatever.
Right.
Those are different. We don't say those people are murderers. We say they helped out. They a different classification, maybe a different level of murder. You're charged with something else. That's very different. And it is a world away from saying that you said something that encouraged somebody to murder or didn't say something to prevent them from murdering. This is a horrible, horrible precedent we are setting. And if we don't stop this today, it will eventually catch every one of us.
And again, I go back to my my old standby. The only thing we can all hope for that will bring us all back together and get us out of this mess, an attack from Mars or Yellowstone erupting.
Here's what's coming. Did you see the Dark Knight, Batman, with the trials? No, it was the one. It wasn't the Dark Knight. It was the one after it with Bane, where they have
Bane.
Bane, yeah, where they cordon off the island, they take over, and they start putting wealthy people or different people they didn't agree with, people of political differences on trial in kangaroo courts and whatever. That's where we're heading unless we stop this. So what we have to do is call out these people when they say, well, they didn't condone or condemn it, and just challenge them on all of this stuff. The only way to get that back is to fight and be that pointed and call them out and go, who do you think actually condones it by not saying something, and then challenge them on the stuff that they haven't condemned today and say, then you must condone that.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50.
Are you tired of the bar scene? Tired of trying to meet people that maybe you just don't know? I'll tell you what, I'm a classic example of online dating. I met my beautiful wife online on a dating platform, and you can too. Check out wethepeople.dating. There's a better way for all of you single guys and you ladies out there. You know what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner ought to be your number one goal, just like the Constitution. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, if you're looking for someone, you don't have any time, you've got a computer, you've got an internet, you can start browsing wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner shouldn't be a mantra, it should be a goal. For the love of people and people of love. Listen to Matt Locke. Check out wethepeople.dating.
The Conservative Cartel.
We're being invaded. I don't doubt that some liberal left groups got some money behind this. I can't come out here and claim it is, but I've got a pretty good idea of what actually is going on this deal. I wouldn't doubt if Soros was behind it or some of his money. But here's the thing that I think is interesting. As I covered that story, I'm thinking to myself, why? Because I don't believe this is coordinated with the left. Democratic leaders are urging their party's 2018 candidates to ignore migration issues, even as the fast-growing caravan of migrants walks northward through Mexico, by the way. What's Mexico doing? These are peaceful people, Ron, as they tear the fences down in southern Mexico. They're throwing their kids in the damn river, where they've got migrants down below in rafts and boats going across the river. And Mexico isn't doing a damn thing about it. They're not stupid. This caravan is heading to the United States.
Died, so we finally got the desk in here.
And Phyllis over on Facebook, by the way, she says, desk equality, Doc's side is bigger than Brad's. No, it's actually not.
How would that?
I have no idea. They're exactly the same.
Symmetrical.
It is very symmetrical. It's our.
What
it's
side?
the angle. It's the angle. I'm telling you,
To
it's
see
the
it
angle.
on the camera.
It's the. See, from that side, your side looks bigger.
Here's there. See,
it's
looks like Doc's is bigger.
Well,
the desk. We're talking about the desk here,
of course,
people.
of
the
course.
desk.
Yes, of course.
No, but it's fine. Well, you say it's done. It's not. It's never done. Nothing is ever done. It will be it's a work in progress forever and ever. Amen. Sneaking Duck says, Doc Thompson, come on. You know there's an election in 1 week. Every politician is heading off our moronic MSM, presenting exactly the scenario of not condemning on any and all Republicans. Plus, it's time on camera. That's true.
It's time we start baiting them. Damn it. It's time we start baiting them. Trump is really good at trolling and laying some traps for people. We need to be better at it, and Trump needs to explain himself better, to come up with the so-called moral or make a point at the end of some of this trolling.
Right.
For example, some high-profile people needed to not condemn what happened in Pittsburgh. They needed to not.
Right. Well, everybody jumps on the bandwagon.
Right. And when somebody challenges them on it, especially if they were in a heated, contest, like let's say Ted Cruz had not condemned it.
Right.
Right. And Beta O'Rourke says, how come you didn't condemn this? Horrible. And then go, really? You want to live in a world where we don't know murder is awful? Is that what you're doing? And then say, Beta, how do you feel about, and start bringing up, ridiculous prostate cancer. Did you today condemn prostate cancer? Well, I was part of a prostate cancer against March 3 years ago. Well, great. I've mentioned murders bad in the past. Stop it and challenge them on all, and go big and get down in the mud and wrestle them into submission about this crap. It's the only way it's going to stop. You don't know murder is bad?
It's just
And by the way, Beta and others, you have to say it. Your followers, your supporters are so irretrievably stupid, you have to remind them that murder is bad. Really? Well, I didn't know murder's still bad.
It's exhausting.
Exactly.
It's exhausting.
And to know that they are doing it simply for political motives makes it even worse. See, they would, I'm sure, if you challenge Beta or others on this, well, we have to all stand against this type of stuff, and that's the reason you have to mention it again and blah, blah, blah. Really? Well, you're doing it for political purposes.
They're all doing everything.
You think that's good? It's bullcrap.
Jeff A. in Virginia over on MeWe says, I think O'Malley was responsible for Maryland taxing rainwater.
Mm-hmm.
Was that?
I think so, yeah. They've done this in a lot of states, too, where the runoff, they call it the runoff.
Right.
Which, depending upon the size of your property, your building, and what you have, it's the runoff. So they
so size matters.
For that. Okay, way to go. That's a good place as well. By the way, speaking of MeWe, sign up for your MeWe account today if you haven't done so already. MeWe.com. We have partnered with MeWe to try to change social media. And if you're aware of what happened over the weekend to Gab.com, you should be flocking to MeWe today. This is really important, and it doesn't stop there. Over the weekend, Gab was shut down.
Oh, that's right. That's what everyone was talking about on the Twitter board this morning.
Gab.com is, and I'm only vaguely familiar with it, is the social media site that is probably a little closer to Twitter. Was because it doesn't exist today. Oh, the government didn't shut him down. That would be censorship. Instead, GoDaddy shut him down, and PayPal shut him down, and Stripe shut him down, and Joynet shut him down.
Joynet?
Ron, are you familiar with Joynet? You're a tech guy.
Actually, I'm not.
Okay, you're not a tech guy, or you're not?
No, actually, I'm not familiar with Joynet.
Okay,
is it supposed to be a registrar like GoDaddy?
I don't know if it's a registrar or if it's it's some sort of tech support. So maybe it is a registrar. Maybe it is one of the other ones. PayPal obviously is the money transferring. Stripe, I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that's probably like PayPal. That's my guess.
JoinNet engineers provide 360-degree support for modern application architectures.
Oh,
blah,
so it's
blah,
the
blah.
app for it. Okay. So what happened was, because this knucklehead that ended up shooting up the synagogue and murdering 11 people in Pittsburgh over the weekend, because he had posted things on Gab, and Gab didn't block him, shut it down, take the stuff off. Okay. I didn't see the stuff he wrote. I'm assuming it's awful. I'm assuming it is as reprehensible as it could be. I'm assuming that he wrote, "I'm going to murder Jews." I'm assuming that.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay. Because, but even if it is that bad, how do you know he was serious?
And again,
how many people write horrible things like that that don't do it every day? Far more than do.
Wasn't it Bette Midler who suggested that Trump should die?
Bette Midler, Kathy Griffin, all kinds of people have said all kinds of awful things.
Right.
And you know what? Sometimes that's used as art. Sometimes it's used as satire. We use it for all kinds of things. I don't want to live in a world. I don't want to live in a country, and America was not founded on, nor does its supporters supposed to support, the censoring of these things.
No.
And that's what we've accepted now. These same people on the left who talk about big corporate America being evil are fine with corporate America being evil and big and oppressive as long as it supports their ideas and shuts down free speech when it's a private company like Gab. Now, they can say, well, we didn't stop them. We just didn't want to do business with them, whatever. Right. The problem is there are so few opportunities in America for you to start a website that's not hosted via or supported by one of these huge companies. The tech companies are all uber progressive.
Yeah.
They do not support free speech. They may claim they do, but remember, they start from a place of, but some speech just shouldn't happen, and we can't have it. It gets worse. Well, we have suggested you sign up for a MeWe account or even a Gab account. I had people say you guys should support Gab, and we absolutely, if it's not the other social medias that are progressive, of course. We want social media sites and media sites that support freedom, period. You decide. Yeah. If you want the material. If you don't, so be it. And you know what? Some of them, like even me, we'll say, as long as it's not like child porn or calling for violence, something like that, where you're actually violent, you know what? I could make it an argument that it's not even their job to clean that up. And here's why. Are those things illegal?
Yes. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Done. So if you were to see something like child pornography or somebody being violent on one of these social media sites, you could say, hello, Mr. FBI, maybe you check this out.
Right.
In fact, it's actually probably a help when it comes to things like child pornography or certain things because they've got a place to go to and look at. Go there, lay a trap for somebody who's promoting something like that, and arrest them.
But wouldn't the FBI need to... When you have the Kathy Griffins of the world suggesting violence, shouldn't they investigate that as well? Didn't she say she did get a call from the FBI?
I don't know if she did.
Or
lots of them have.
Midlers, right?
Well, but here's the thing, and it's supposed to be on a case-by-case basis. You've got to look at this as, listen, I got a visit from the Secret Service when people thought I said George W. Bush should be murdered when he was president. Okay, I kind of said it.
You might want to explain that.
It was a bit of slip of the tongue here. I was, and this is not at all an excuse, I admit what I said. It was under odd circumstances. I was ranting over one of the many outrageous things that George W. Bush, the so-called conservative, but really progressive, did in office. It had been a long weekend at a new job of work. I was only on the air maybe, I don't know, a month or so. And I got really sick and had no vacation times, all these extra hours, and I was really medicated. So you're sick anyways. You can't keep your thoughts straight. I'm medicated. I'm just I'm going on a rant, and it came out, That guy needs to be stopped. Somebody ought to murder that guy. Somebody was kind of like that.
Right.
It wasn't even that pointed.
Right.
And somebody heard it. And even like as I took my break, I was like, did I say, like in the back of my head, I was like something, trying to remember what I said in my fog. And I said to my producer, I go, did I say anything wrong there? And he goes, no, I didn't hear anything. All right, call.
He wasn't listening.
No.
No.
The next morning, get to work. Secret Service, ding dong.
Hey.
Program director comes down and goes, hey, can you come up front with me? The Secret Service is here to see you. I thought he was joking. Nope, he wasn't joking.
Surprise.
Black and white Secret Service agents walk in. We go in a little conference room.
A black and a white
one black one, one white one. It was like a movie. It was like central casting for government agents now.
Black suits, dark glasses.
It was pretty much that, yeah.
There you go.
And we go in there and they're like, all right, listen. And they were really good guys. They're like, we really do not want to be here. And and they're like, we hate when it's something like this because we know what it likely was, but we have to follow up on, follow leads and things when they come up. Mm-hmm. And they're like, do you have a copy of the tape? And my producer's like, yeah, I'll run fetch one. So went and got one from the day's show, prior day's show. And this is, by the way, like 20 minutes before I go on the air.
That always helps.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, okay, normally on serious cases, he said like an odd number, like 65 or 57 or 81, something like this. Questions we have to ask you. We have to ask.
So get comfortable.
Right. And I was like, ooh, and he goes, we'll do the short version. And I was like, all right. He goes, do you harbor any ill will towards George W. Bush? Now, thank you. Thank you, Brad Staggs. Shave and a haircut. Do you have any?
We're going to be here for a while.
And inside, my inner doc voice is battling it out with my inner doc voice. Don't say that. Don't say that. Stop. Don't say anything. Just pause.
Just say no.
Pause. Just say no. Just say. I had like 6. I was aided by the fact that I had so many good lines. It became like a bottleneck. And I couldn't get them all out.
Did you ask him, does this mean you can get a couple messages to the president for me?
What I wanted to say, could you explain that question? Could you go into more detail? Instead, I just went, no.
Absolutely not.
And he goes, second question, if George W. Bush walked in the room right now, what would you do? Shave and a haircut. I was like, I'd probably try to set up an interview or something like that. They're like, all right, again, we're really sorry, and can we get that tape? And they listen back to it, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing here, really sorry. They actually felt bad. But then I had to go on the air immediately after and host a little show.
Ta-da!
We wrapped this up with like 2 minutes before I had to get on the air.
Right.
Get on the air. I do my first break. Get down, and the producer goes, I got to give it to you. He was like, can't believe you went on the air today. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, your 2 predecessors would have called in maybe for a couple of days. I said, someday this will be a good story.
But you, sir, are a professional.
I am so thankful that I threatened to shoot George W. Bush when he was in office and not Obama was when he was in office.
That's probably a good thing. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
When I threatened to shoot a president on the air, it was a Republican, okay? So just back off. It was a white guy, too. Whew.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that ended up being better. The point is, it's supposed to be a case-by-case basis. There was nothing there. And even if I had said it as a bit of satire, not in a drug-induced, flu-riddled haze, it could have been satire. I could have been making a point. Things can be taken out of context. All of these have to be taken in context, and you have to look at them and say, is this an issue? To have blanket edicts and rules and regulations like GoDaddy obviously does, and PayPal and these others, you don't even realize in your stupidity what you're creating. If we continue down this road, what will become of GoDaddy and PayPal? Remember, you're creating this environment where a certain few, likely tied with the government, because these people are all, part of that big leftist push there.
Yeah.
Are they going to get to run the world? GoDaddy and PayPal? No. No, they won't.
Well, they think they will.
They think they will.
Yes.
Who will run it? The government will.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before the government's rules and regulations begin to tell GoDaddy and PayPal what they must or must not do. It's like the Sean Penns out there that go out there and actively campaign for the most extremist, leftist, socialist, communist platforms and people. He's down there partying years ago with Castro and the former head of Venezuela. Really? You're an actor. If you had this communist utopia that you think you love, what would become of you? You would be doing propaganda films for the government, or they would shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
So they're too stupid to even realize this, but it brings up a bigger point.
Wait, did you just call actors and them stupid?
Not just actors, GoDaddy and PayPal, but yes, actors are generally stupid as well.
To be clarified.
$6 a day, move your ass. That's your motivation. Shut up, read these lines. It brings up a bigger issue that if we are able to create some of what I hope to create, some of what we've told you with MeWe and others, and even this platform, where we say we're not beholden to Facebook and Twitter.
Right.
You know who we are still beholden to? The service providers.
Yeah.
The people who register your name. All of those other tech companies that can shut you down. When they talked about net neutrality, which sounded so wonderful.
It does, doesn't it? Being
It's neutral. It's not.
It's got to be good.
It gives disproportionate amount of power to the government in all of this. So we are still, even on our little platform here, even though we're not beholden to ABC or Facebook or anybody else, we're still beholden to GoDaddy.
Yeah.
And everybody else out there, just like Gab.com was. So the only way we can succeed, truly, and be independent is to get so big, to get so powerful, that we can do all of that stuff ourselves, where we don't have to use them. Because, by the way, that was the only suggestion that was made to Gab.com, is that you register and take all of your tech business, your servers, and everything else out of America. Did you get that? That in order to truly have free speech on your platform, you may have to register out of America.
That's really scary.
Folks, America is supposed to be the beacon of freedom.
Supposed to be.
That's the whole ball game. All of the other specifics we get into, things that are challenges to those freedoms, even if it's something like taxes, it's a challenge to those freedoms. And what is the balance of the government's power and responsibility and role when it comes to taxes and everything else? All of those other issues that we talk about are filtered through and should be filtered through one question. Is it freedom? Do you know, a lot of times on the broadcast or when issues pop up, I look at them and it's easy. That's wrong, that's right. But occasionally we get some that are a little more of a gray area. And you're like, well, they got a good point there. And this one, I'll give you one, statues, taking down of statues, right? It's ridiculous that we would try to whitewash history and bring statues down. Why would you tear these things down? On the other hand, would we ever want a statue of Hitler in a town square? Just to use an extreme.
Right, yes. No, I'm sure.
So you see what I'm saying? There are some issues, a few out there that are kind of gray areas. And when that happens, my go-to, I wipe all else away and I say, freedom, personal freedom, freedom from government, freedom from oppression. It all goes through that one question. When it gets all muddy in your head about freedom.
Right.
And although you may not like a situation or a rule or regulation, you may not like an outcome, if you do not stand, even, nay, especially when it's painful, then it's all over.
It's ironic what Gab.com's Twitter profile said. Gab.com, a social network built, owned, and funded by the people with a mission to defend individual liberty and free expression online, the home of free speech online.
Do you know how much free speech I hate? There is so much that I despise that people say. That's the stuff you have to protect. The other stuff, no, you don't have to protect people liking puppies and pizza.
Right, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what they're missing here. So I bring this up because we have a plan, and it's a lengthy, long, many-year, many-leveled plan to try to take back media and social media. And it is outrageous, stupid that we would think we could ever pull it off, really. I mean, we're just a few people. But we figured we had to try because it's at least a clever idea, a clever plan. We'll see if we can get it done. This is step one. We build MoJo50.com. We have a second channel, Spoonie.com, that is all food, 24/7 stream. It's just getting going now. In fact, Chef Patrick begins a live daily show every afternoon today. I begin a live 1-hour daily show over on Spoonie.com every afternoon. That'll be 2 o'clock Eastern time. It's at Spoonie.com. That figures and factors into our plan. And although it's only food and it's not political, it's strategic on our part. Can't get into all the details why, but it's strategic. And then partnering up with MeWe so we can build a social media platform that is truly revolutionary and innovative. There is nothing innovative when it comes to social media sites now. The only thing innovative are ones that are actually based on freedom. But they all use the same basic text and picture or formats and platforms, and some have pictures and some are more text-based, whatever, but they all do basically the same thing. Yeah. Ours is truly unique. And some of the stuff we haven't even told you about yet, but that's the reason we've been so passionate about it. At any step of the way, we can be shut down by GoDaddy, PayPal, Stripe, Joynet, any of these. We can be shut down. Part of the reason we live so many different places, that although you can get the live stream at MoJo50.com and you can get it at Spreaker and Stitcher and all these other places, is because the people that became internet stars on just Facebook, for example, even the ones that aren't political, but Facebook just decided to change the metrics of how you make money. Yet people that were making good livings that instantly overnight had it cut in half. And you can't even blame Facebook. I mean, it's not nice, but they can do whatever they want. It's just they put all their eggs in the Facebook basket, and others that did Periscope this way and YouTube and whatever. So our plan is to live as many places as possible so we're not beholden to them. The problem is we're still beholden to the service providers and the domain registers and all of those.
It's like a funnel.
The only way forward is that we build this or any other social media platforms out there that are truly based on free speech, that is so big and powerful that you become Google-like.
And that's tough to do.
Oh, it's impossible. Near impossible. Near impossible.
Near impossible.
If you even got to, I mean, half of that, you'd probably be okay. Yeah. Enough money and power where you build your own servers, where you build your own infrastructure, where you have your own registrars, where you do deals, where you have your own lobbyists and all of this. That's the only way. It's not nice. It's not fun. But if we don't have that, folks, you are seeing just the very beginning of the true censorship. It will be done via the government, but not directly. There's nothing new under the sun. But as that pendulum swings back, as that wheel comes around again, anything that was old that becomes new again always has one or two slight variations. It doesn't look exactly the same. The censorship of the future is the court of public opinion. Oh, the government's pulling the strings. The government's controlling all of this stuff. The government is being lobbied by those corporations. The government's involved. You're only getting half the story when you hear the leftists out there. Big corporations. Funny, they don't mind GoDaddy shutting Gab.com down. Howard Dean, remember that guy?
Washington.
He said that Gab.com should be punished, should be blamed for this.
Blamed for what? Blamed for being shut down themselves?
They should be prosecuted
For
what happened in Pittsburgh.
how in the world? That's because
Do you see?
his logic is that they provided a mouthpiece.
Again, culpable is what they're going to
Right.
say. No, they're not. These people just are over emotional and believe in control.
Well, then we need to shut down the entire internet. We need to shut down phones. We need to shut down newspapers. We need to go back to living in caves and communicating with smoke signals.
So there's a couple of things we can do. And some of this is going to sound and is a little self-serving. Number one, sign up for a MeWe account and support Gab. By the way, Gab is likely going to have its Facebook and Twitter shut down today.
Yeah, on their website, there's a 2-paragraph statement.
Do you understand what could happen there? They could have their website completely shut down.
Yeah.
So if Gab has their site shut down, and they have all of their social media shut down, how would you ever find anything about them? So you said persona non grata. They are gone. They don't exist. They are being erased. They said that they are absolutely being erased from society today. So there's a couple things you can do. Sign up for a MeWe account, MeWe.com. Tell your friends and family. Support our platform. In fact, we should get the Gab people on and give them a voice here. Until we get shut down, give them a voice here.
Yes.
And then grow these platforms so big that we control it. And that's part of the reason we partnered with MeWe. More is coming. Another thing you can do is switch your service provider today to Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com. Well, because every other mobile provider out there is in bed with all of these. It's all connected. It's all tech now. They all are progressive and funneling money to Mayor Bloomberg and his outrageous anti-gun campaigns, pro-abortion. They're funneling money to candidates like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, all kinds of them. Funneling money to all of them. Patriot Mobile doesn't do that. They give just a little bit of their profits, things that we support. And they have two founding principles, capitalism and freedom. Those are pretty good. They want to make money. They believe in freedom. That's who you are. Sign up today, patriotmobile.com/doc. It's patriotmobile.com/doc or 800-A-PATRIOT. Sign up for MeWe. Sign up for Patriot Mobile at patriotmobile.com/doc.
DMXDM. Howard Dean wishes he was as relevant as Martin O'Malley. Well, that's all you need. You only need is that one screaming moment, though, and everybody remembers at least Howard Dean.
That's it, and he's done.
No one remembers Martin O'Malley except for Rainwater.
Stand by. Your headlines coming up next on MoJo 50.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour, townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Indonesia's president urging people to keep on praying following the crash of a Lion Air plane with 189 people on board. The Boeing 737 went down just moments after takeoff early today. Rescuers now at the crash scene in the sea, northeast of Jakarta. A federal prosecutor in Pittsburgh is vowing to seek the ultimate punishment in the synagogue shooting. It killed 11 people and wounded 6 others.
U.S. Attorney Scott Brady says Robert Gregory Bowers said some chilling things during the attack
regarding genocide and his desire to kill Jewish people.
Brady says he'll seek approval for the death penalty. A day earlier, President Trump called the rampage wicked and pure evil.
We have to bring back the death penalty. They have to pay the ultimate price.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
A court appearance scheduled later today for the man accused of sending explosives to some prominent Democrats this month.
Suspect at the AutoZone.
FBI agents took down Cesar Sayoc at an AutoZone store Friday in Florida with the audio caught on Broadcastify. Authorities say the whole time the country was being terrorized by those mail bombs, Sayoc was living in his van, plastered with political messages against Democrats, which they are looking through for more bomb-making evidence. It was a fingerprint and DNA that gave him away. Authorities will prosecute Sayoc in New York because many of those 14 explosive devices ended up here in New York.
Correspondent Julie Walker. The Boston Red Sox won their 4th World Series championship in 15 years last night, beating the LA Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures up 53 points, NASDAQ futures better by 61, S&P futures up 11. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. Christians have always believed that the greatest life-changing experience available to any individual is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and the testimonies of numerous converts confirm the dramatic changes which often accompany salvation. One such testimony of change comes from founding father Noah Webster, who explained, "I was led by a spontaneous impulse to repentance, prayer, and entire submission and surrender of myself to my Maker and Redeemer. I now began to understand and relish many parts of the Scriptures which before appeared mysterious and unintelligible. In short, my view of the Scriptures, of religion, of the whole Christian scheme of salvation, and of God's moral government are very much changed. The power of God to change a life yielded to Him was just as evident at the time of the Founding Fathers as it still is today."
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Ship has landed.
All right, there's the button. Couldn't find the button.
We moved everything around.
Got a new desk in here, and it is spectacular. Nice job, Brad Staggs.
I will pass on the words of the kind words to the construction crew. They worked overtime.
All right, nice job. Check it out if you're just listening or you're on the podcast. You can do so via our social media platforms, and we'll continue to grow those out as well. So I've had some people ask why we remain on Facebook and Twitter, for example, even though we're promoting the others.
Because right now they are the cheap and easy way to get the word out.
And we're using their platform to say, come over here.
Yes.
Come all the way over to this other platform.
Probably shouldn't say that because if Facebook and Twitter are listening, they may just catch on.
Their arrogance will not allow them to even care.
All right.
Seriously. They really, and my goal is to have them not see it coming until it's too late.
Did you just say Nazi?
Not see. Nazis coming until it's too late. That's the goal.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to use it as much as we can. But in the meantime, MeWe account. Make sure to sign one up today. I'm going to try to get the Gab people on. I don't know if they will. We'll try to do a partnership with them.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want? At this point, I would think they would like all the friends they can get.
They probably would. I don't know if I can even get in touch with them. I don't even know how to do that.
Oh, I bet we can. This is the communication age. I'll bet we can find a way to get in touch with Gab.
All right, we'll see. I mean, you got to get through and all the clutter, because I'm sure they're getting a lot of words of support from people. emailing and whatever. I mean,
I would think so.
Do you really think about this?
It's
Brad, I just said email.
Yeah.
They could have their email shut down.
Yeah.
Who's your email provider? Great. It's probably Progressive.
Yeah.
So if their email provider, let's say they have one through gab.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was shut down by GoDaddy.
Right.
So you're like, well, we'll use a Google account for
Well, it's interesting if they've got so if they were shut down, they've got that paragraph up on their website.
Right, that's one thing I saw something about them allowing to post that or something. Yeah.
So wait a minute. So GoDaddy or whomever is allowing them to do that?
Somebody that might have been the JoyNet one. I think JoyNet also handles their data. I think their storage, like their server, their storage.
Right.
Because I saw on Twitter, I think it was, or Facebook, one of the two, that Gab.com had posted something, a response from JoyNet that it's like, we'll keep all of your data, something for the FBI, blah blah blah.
Oh, I wonder if it was like Bluehost or one of those because like with the websites that we've had in the past, we've used Bluehost where they store all of your data.
Right, it's something like that. So think about this. Anything you do, what we'll do? We'll just go and what? You're gonna get a Google account for now so people can funnel your email. I mean, you could do it and keep it to as soon as you promote it. All they'll do is shut it down if they were so inclined. Yeah. And you go, you know what? Fine, we'll take it to servers out of the country. How many countries are really based on freedom? You think England is going to allow this type of freedom? The companies over there?
No.
How about China? Seriously?
Yeah, nobody.
You'd have to go to some despot country and do a deal with them that as long as you're in the good graces with the dictator, then it's going to be fine. Well, then you're going to be limited from saying things. People start posting things against the dictator. They're going to nationalize all your servers and everything. It never ends.
It's very
America
scary.
was supposed to protect against stuff like that. It was a different age, but still, the concept is the same. So unless we get big enough, it will not change.
That's true.
That's the goal.
It's frightening.
All right, MoJo Wild Rice, their goal is to get big enough as well that they can help out with some of this. All of our sponsors are.
Big Rice.
Actually, they're Little Rice at this point. They're not, they stand in the face of Big Rice. The Big Rice conglomerates, they actually kind of do.
Yeah.
They've been around for about 30 years, and it's all based on the only native grain in North America. You probably hear a lot about the ancient grains. That's become kind of a buzz phrase recently. Ancient grains. And you hear quinoa. Do you know how to pronounce that, by the way?
Quinoa.
Did you know?
No,
First time
when
saw
you see it, it looks like it looks like something else. I can't remember. It does not look.
It looks like quinoa.
Yeah,
that's what quinoa.
Yeah, that quinoa, it's good. Yeah, so ancient grains. That's really what you're talking about here with the wild rice. It's not the wild rice maybe you've had from other places.
It's going back to basics.
Right.
It really is. When I first heard of it, I'm not real smart that way. I was thinking of rice. Just, there's a white on rice.
Nope.
This is not what that is.
It's wild rice, and it is delicious. But because it's one of those truly ancient grains, the only one that's native to North America, going back thousands of years, it is so healthy for you as well. Naturally gluten and cholesterol free, and it is almost a complete protein by itself. It is a superfood. It's high in protein and low in fat. It's got trace minerals in it. Sensational for you, and it tastes great. It's very versatile. You can use it savory or sweet. Check it all out at MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com. It's Minostalgia. That's the company. We just use MoJo Wild Rice because most people can't spell Minostalgia.
Yeah, nobody can spell. That's too many words.
Well, it wasn't that big of a deal 30 years ago. You didn't have to do it, but now you're typing stuff in the internet all the time, right?
And all it takes is one missed letter and...
Can't find it, sorry, never heard of it. So MoJo Wild Rice, a little bit better for you, easy. But they also have other edible memories from the North Woods of Minnesota. It's natural products, things made from the natural fruits and vegetables in the area. They've got maple syrups and jellies and whipped honeys and the fruit syrups and jams. By the way, I brought Matt Locke a little treater today because he hasn't had a lot of their products.
Right.
So I brought him some pepper jelly.
He will like it.
And we're going to put it over some cream cheese. It's the ghost pepper jelly. It's pepper jelly because Matt likes hot stuff. Ghost peppers. So, slipping him a Mickey today.
Oh, this will be fun to watch.
The only thing better would be if I was putting the Rufinol in it, but I'm not. So, we're going to slip him a little Mickey today. Anyways, that's coming up. Try all the edible memories from Minostalgia at MoJoWildRice.com. That's MoJoWildRice.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
Indeed, the headlines today are brought to you by MoJo Wild Rice. This just in. The Dallas Morning News and Houston Chronicle editorial boards have both decided to back Ted Cruz's challenger, Beta. This according to GQ Magazine. This is great. On a nationwide basis, and this again, GQ Magazine, Texas State Senator, or Texas Senate candidate Beto O'Rourke is far more popular than Ted Cruz, one of the least appealing people in political history. The challenger has raised an obscene $61.8 million, none of it from political action committees, a figure that blows Cruz's $35.1 million out of the desert.
So let me get this straight. So that's two major newspapers in Texas that are supporting Beta O'Rourke. Okay, so we're supposed to value an endorsement made from media companies whose product is still printed on paper every day.
Well, yes, I mean, because they are, after all, you know, they are the holders of all that is sacred and
they are
all that is new.
Talk about being in touch with the populace.
Yeah.
You know, their finger on the pulse of humanity.
Yes.
We think,
this paper,
Listen, every day we print stuff. We write it down.
And we roll it up.
So when you get it, it may be 23 hours old. In fact, it probably is. It could be older than that if it's still laying around like a lobby of a hotel or something. All the news that's up to the day.
It will amaze everyone in even 10 years. Even now it sounds strange when you think about we would take the news, we would cut trees up, we'd mash the trees out into flatness, then we'd print the news,
write it down,
then we'd roll it up and we'd put a rubber band around it. Sometimes we put it in a plastic bag, and then we drive out and we throw it in people's driveways. And they would come out and they would take it out of the plastic bag and they'd take the rubber band off and they'd open it up and read the news.
Right.
You guys did that?
Right.
Yeah, it sounds really dated.
Sometimes if you read history or historical references and you go, yeah, they got the news of who won the presidency 6 months later.
Yes.
It's like, well, the news took that long to travel.
Better late than never.
Right, and we look at that and go, it's newspapers. And yes, I know many of them have online sources as well. They still print that stupid newspaper. They still print it every day. Traditional newspapers have been dead for 15 years now. Traditional terrestrial-based radio has been dead for about 8 years now. Television has been dead for about 5 years now. And you're still going, we got an endorsement from the Dallas Morning News. Well, thank God. The progressives out there who like to tout how young they are and they're tech savvy and all of this. You got it from the Dallas Morning Newspaper.
You know what they're actually good for?
Okay.
Packing. I use them to pack. If you wad up newspaper,
you wad it up. It's good.
It makes really good packing in boxes.
You ever clean windows with them?
Actually, yes. Newspaper
really
is very good for cleaning windows. It really does. Moving on, Russia says it is preparing for war following the U.S. withdrawal from the missile treaty. We're all very anxious about this. A top Russian official has declared the country is preparing for war following President Donald Trump's announcement the U.S. will be withdrawing from the Cold War-era disarmament treaty. I'm scared.
Wow. That seems like it should be bigger news.
It really does. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I doubt they're getting their nuclear warheads out of mothballs and preparing to launch them.
Well, if something like that were true and really we were heading that direction, you want to talk about funny. You want to talk about funny when Chuck Schumer and Chuck Grassley are standing arm in arm, when Mitch McConnell and Debbie Stabenow are marching together. Yeah, okay, it's okay if we bag on each other, but somebody else, guys, we're all going to be dead unless we stand together.
Yeah.
Funny how that works. I think this shows we've had it too good too long. You know, we used to have wars every so often. I mean, true wars. Yes, America's been at war, and I'm not discounting what any sacrifice, any effort that any veteran has made. I'm just saying it's wars fought elsewhere, and we really don't pay enough attention to them.
Nope.
I mean, you got guys over there fighting. By guys, I mean the generic guys and gals and other over foreign lands fighting.
Others. Yeah,
that we don't think about every day.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're like, holy crap, we may lose this thing, they may invade. That matters a little more.
I've seen Red Dawn. I know what can happen. I've seen both.
The documentary, you mean?
Both of them.
Both documentaries?
Both
I've only seen one.
It was the first one was the Russians. The second one was the North Koreans. I mean, we could be in trouble either way. That's all I'm saying. I'm getting word from our newsroom. This just in. O'Rourke has picked up a third Texas newspaper endorsement over Ted Cruz. The Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the leading newspaper in the third largest county in Texas, on Friday endorsed Representative Beto O'Rourke in his Senate race against Senator Cruz. Yes.
I mean, that sounds impressive, but until he gets the town crier from three of the biggest towns in Texas,
yes,
you know, then I can't. That's the real endorsement.
This means
the guy who's standing out there. It's 4 o'clock, all is well. Hear ye, here's the news.
I don't think you're giving this the weight it deserves. That's three newspapers.
I'm not giving it the weight it deserves.
Now,
actually, you know what? I am absolutely giving it the weight it deserves, because it deserves. That's what I was looking for. Deserves very little. It's crap. It doesn't matter.
I think you almost dozed off there in the middle of that. It was so exciting. 3 newspapers for Beto O'Rourke.
3 companies based on outdated technology endorse Beto O'Rourke.
There is that. There's a Harvard law course that looks at ways to push back against Trump strategies. They're going all out. Yes, it's a spring 2019 Harvard law course. The description asserts that Senator Mitch McConnell, President Donald Trump, and Supreme Court Justice and trained rapist Brett Kavanaugh present challenges for democracy under law, for human rights, and for fact-based government. Will be a course at Harvard.
How does this differ from all of their other courses?
Very good question. The course will allegedly explore ways of using constitutional law and politics to push back against those strategies.
So you're saying Harvard has a more obvious anti-Trump course now?
Yes, they're just labeling it more accurately now. Harvard professor Lawrence Tribe will be teaching the course. It is titled Constitutional Strategies for McConnell, Trump, Kavanaugh Era. Wow. You know what? You know you've made it when they name an entire era after you?
Wow.
Just saying.
I mean,
just think about this. The Doc Thompson era in media.
Right. I mean, think of like bronze.
Yes, the Bronze Era.
Right.
It was a Bronze.
Is that Bronze Age?
Or of a, which is bigger, an era or an age?
I think an age is.
We're in the information age. We're in the constitutional era.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think an era. This is an era.
I mean, when you can reach bronze status.
That's true. That is very true.
That's,
finally, some good news. Yes.
Oh, no, because an era is also like the Paleozoic Mesozoic era.
That's true. Huh. That's true. The era of the well, no,
I think you
because
have
there's
2 types of eras.
There's the age of the dinosaurs too. So maybe they're on equal footing. Maybe an era and an age. They're both 3 letters. The ERA, though, however, does have the we've got that. So moving on to some really good news. The threat of Yellowstone erupting has increased.
Really?
Yes, that is good news, actually. The government scientists are classifying 8 U.S. volcanoes as very high threat because of what's been happening inside them and how close they are to people. The U.S. Geological Survey is updating its actual volcano threat assessments for the first time since 2005. The danger list is topped by Hawaii's Kilauea, which has been erupting this year. The others in the top 5 are Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier in Washington, Alaska's Redoubt volcano, and California's Mount Shasta. A dozen volcanoes have jumped in threat level since 2005. Among those where the threat score is higher are the Redoubt, Mount Okmok, Akutan Island, and Mount Spur. And those threat scores are also up for Wyoming's Yellowstone volcano. So, and
hilarious that for so long they didn't even know Yellowstone was a volcano.
Exactly.
I think it's so funny because we knew all of that geothermic thermic activity. Is that right? Geothermic activity. Geothermal.
Yep.
Is that right? Geothermal activity. We've all known that. The geysers, all of that, the bubbling mud, hot mud, and all that stuff.
When you go up there and see it, it is really disconcerting.
So they knew all that, but they never realized it was a volcano because it didn't have the traditional cone shape.
Right, yeah.
And until they realized, oh, that's because it is so gargantuan.
Yes. Yeah.
It takes up far more area.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all a cone.
When you drive around it, when you're looking at it, when you drive through it and you see the mud pots and you smell the sulfur and you see the geysers, there was a geyser there. It was the ear. I thought it was called the ear guy. It looks shaped like an ear. That's
please.
Yeah.
Can you stop? Geyser?
That's true. There's
no Galzers out there?
I apologize.
Can you do the non-gender specific Zer?
Zers.
Something like that, which maybe it's just Zer then.
Well, let me put it this way. They're all blowing.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I see what you did.
Headlines brought to you in part by SaveYourHeart.com. That is Save Your Heart.
Save your heart. How do you save your heart? By going to SaveYourHeart.com.
Mm-hmm.
This is Therapy Essentials, the PTFF, the Pauling Therapy Essentials formula. And you get all the details at SaveYourHeart.com. Feel free to give them a call as well. There's the number and all the information's at the website. It's there's an 18-minute video from Dr. Michael Greger, which provides the proper nutrition and explains the proper nutrition can reverse even advanced heart disease, which is really what they're talking about with Save Your Heart. I don't think enough of us give attention or pay attention. I mean, unless it's I'm having trouble with my heart.
Until there's a problem.
Right, and we found out over the years that really some odd things have to do with your heart health, like proper oral hygiene. Did you know that?
Yeah, actually,
the plaque in your mouth and
it's all connected.
And the tartar. If you're constantly consuming that because you swallow, spit, and whatever.
Yep.
If you get too much of that, it starts causing heart disease, all kinds of problems for you. So if you want to reverse your heart disease and set up your proper health for the future, you can do so with a 100% plant-based diet. But those who can't or won't, the Pauling Therapy Essentials formula provides all the nutrition of a 100% plant-based diet. And you get all the information at SaveYourHeart.com. Imagine how quickly you could get well if you combined a more plant-based diet with the PTEF, the Pauling Therapy Essentials formula. It's really fascinating. Get all the information.
It's about education. It's about knowing.
Right. PTEF, Pauling Therapy Essentials formula. It's a supplement that you can take, and it's available at SaveYourHeart.com. SaveYourHeart.com. Sign up today and start saving your heart.
Headlines continue now. It is the 29th day of October. That means T-minus 8 days until the most important election of our lifetime.
Did you say the most important?
The most important election of our lifetime.
Should we get to it now?
You know what? I think we do. We have it? Is it? Is it, oh, here it is, right here. It's on. It's just
2018 is the most important election of our lifetime.
Nice. Yes, it is.
Till 2020.
Wait, what?
And that's the most important election of our lifetime.
Okay, good to know it, though.
Until 2022.
And that's the most important election of our lifetime.
Good. Well, 22.
Until the next one comes.
And thank you to Matt Lars for putting that together for us. Our headlines continue. It is National Hermit Day as well. It is observed annually on
Will
October
any of them
20th.
know it?
That's the thing. None of them want to come out. And the older I get, the more I want to join the club.
I know. I used to think how much I liked people until I met more people.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't like people. They're the worst.
I used to be terrified of being alone. I've gotten over that fear. I'd rather.
I was never terrified, but most people don't want to be alone or think about being alone. And now, alone at times, I'm like, wow, that's fantastic.
I just sit there and I enjoy the quiet. I really enjoy the quiet. It was on this day in 1929. Any guesses?
Stock market crash.
Yeah,
Boom.
That's what it was. Billions of dollars were lost. Investors were wiped out. Stock tickers ran hours behind because the machinery could not handle the tremendous volume of trading. Wow. That was the aftermath. In the aftermath of Black Tuesday, the rest of the industrialized world spiraled downward into the Great Depression. Happy Monday. In 1901, Leo Saglas was executed.
For?
I knew I'd get you with this.
1901.
1901. Leon Saglas.
Let me think.
Saglas.
I know. Killing McKinley.
Yes! Man, I thought I would have gotten you with that one.
Boom. You know the only way I knew it? Because of 1901, and I'm like, it had to be something pretty significant if you're bringing it up. And for some reason, I knew William McKinley was shot and killed in 1901. He was at some expo, like World's Expo type thing in Buffalo. And the guy came up with to him, who was it, Leo Saglas? Whatever. He had a gun and wrapped his hand, again, finger on the trigger, in a bandage. Like his hand was bandaged up. It had been injured somehow.
Right.
And, you're like, oh, here's a guy who wants to meet the president with a bandaged hand and a gun inside. Shot and killed him.
Son of a... See, it puts the old adage that they're stupid. They're not stupid. They are not stupid people.
He would have been the third president assassinated. 3 of 4.
Yep, because after him, it would have been just
JFK.
Kennedy, right?
Yeah. Who was so you got Lincoln, somebody, McKinley, and then Kennedy.
I always forget the somebody, too. Who was the somebody?
James A. Garfield.
See, and sadly, no one cares to remember that.
Both he and McKinley's assassinations are fascinating.
They're really... Bob Ross would be 76 today, but he's been dead for 23 years. You do the math. Winona Ryder is 46, and Ian Hodder is, 13.
And hotter.
Hey, if you're into Ian Hodder, that's fine. 13 years old today. He is, of course, for Ron Phillips, he is the TikTok star with more followers than you, me, the three of us all put together.
So many of them out there making money for doing nothing. And I'm doing something and can't make money. Maybe I should start doing nothing.
You're doing it wrong, yes. I would highly
I'm really screwing it up.
SaveYourHeart.com brought you the headlines this morning.
Over the weekend, the liberal left went low and will continue to go low in the days leading up to the November 6 midterm elections. Billionaire Democratic donor Tom Steyer was a guest on CNN's State of the Union with host Jake Tapper. As the left always does, Tapper wasted no time in politicizing Saturday's shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue, where 11 innocent people lost their lives when a gunman opened fire while allegedly making anti-Semitic statements. Unrelated to the shooting and prior to it, Republican Representative Kevin McCarthy tweeted and then deleted, "We cannot allow Soros, Steyer, and Bloomberg to buy this election. Get out and vote Republican November 6." Tapper, however, used his tweet to ask Steyer if he believed McCarthy made an anti-Semitic statement. Tapper said, "I did notice that George Soros is Jewish, Michael Bloomberg is Jewish, and you're the third. Your dad is Jewish. Do you think that's a coincidence? What do you make of it?" Steyer was quick to accuse McCarthy of political violence. Steyer said McCarthy's statement was a straight-up anti-Semitic move. Political violence, and America is looking for something completely different. He went on to claim that it wasn't about loud language on both sides, but terrible behavior and political violence from Republicans. Odd, what stands out first and foremost to me about the three men are that they are Democrats, billionaires, and donate tons of money to the Democratic Party. McCarthy's tweet merely acknowledges that fact. Be assured that Democrats will continue to use an anti-Semitic and political violence narrative right up until the midterms on November 6th. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off.
Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on MoJo 50. Let's get some communiques in. We got, of course, MeWe, Twitter, Facebook. We're trying to live all of those, but you need to sign up for the MeWe account. By the way, we mentioned Gab.com. I think it's Gab.ai, which I don't know why they would have.
That comes up, too. It all goes back to the same page. So it's Gab.com, Gab.ai. They both have the same message on them, so either way, they ain't there right now. 1,024th Taint Pro Ricketts sleeve.
Ricketts.
I really hate you. Former shoplifter Winona Ryder's 46, but painter Bob Ross from PBS is dead. Only the good die young.
That's right.
You know, that is right. so very true. Spooky Fang Kitty. So 3 dinosaur newspapers and a washed-up dictator endorsed Beto O'Rourke. Okay for him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. If I ever meet Doc Thompson, I will never play him in Trivial Pursuit. That's a microaggressor said that over on Twitter, and yes, you are very wise.
I do really well with the trivial. I'm not saying I may not have it all right.
You got all the smart stuff. I can tell you what song was, who sang what song.
I know a lot of
whatever
useless stuff. It's not stuff that would actually help me. You know what I mean? And the songs, you get me and Brad, couple of other people, radio guys together, and we'll just crush it. You know those little bar games, the trivial bar games at the end of the bar that are music?
You mean the ones where you look for naked people in the pictures?
It's a different one. It's a different one.
I like those.
The ones where you like Trivial Pursuit, but about music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crush it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. The same, yeah. It's my mind is a swirling.
Here's how bad it is, folks.
Of useless information.
That when you're a jock, because Brad and I were both music disc jockeys for years, and you not only know who recorded the song and the song title, you know all of that, but you also know everybody who was in the band, all the little trivia that goes with it, and then you know how long the song is, how long the intro is, where the little changes in the music, where the bridge, you know all that. So you're like, oh yeah, Tainted Love, it's 2:35, it has a 14-second intro.
Right.
You don't know all of them, but you know a lot of them. Just how it works.
By the way, Audrey is calling, but it says the line wasn't open.
We have a guest calling in.
Yeah.
She said it's not
Is
open.
she on there now?
No, it's open now.
No, the line's open.
Oh, Audrey just
we have a guest calling in.
Texted me and said the line wasn't open.
If she called in before the break, then it was not.
Yeah, I mean, she have to call again.
I did not know anybody was calling.
Audrey, try calling in again is all I can say. Let's see. Adam Davis says, whoa, Brad, what the hell is a newspaper?
Right. See, that's what I'm saying, right?
Adam, there was a time we used to print our news on paper, throw it into people's driveways. They would go out and they would pick it up and read that newspaper.
While we're waiting, let me remind you about Tar River Arms. They are crushing it, by the way. Thank you so much for supporting our sponsors. TarRiverArms.com has revolutionized purchasing firearms online. And in fact, I had considered purchasing a firearm online a few years ago and ended up buying in person because I just couldn't see the gun enough.
Right.
I'm like,
well, that makes sense because usually, you go online and you can't get an accurate description of what the gun is.
It's not the same as returning shoes. You've got the expense of transferring it to the FFL and delivery, and normally before TarRiverArms.com, and then returning it. Then you've got the whole license. It's just a pain. So I was like, I don't want to take the chance that I'm not going to like it, and I just went and got one at a local place. So Tar River Arms said they're going to take care of all that. They put up high-resolution photos like few others have ever done, and you can zoom in. You could zoom in so well. But then with the 3D imaging, you can spin the gun, flip it on some axis, and it's awesome. So you get to see every angle. Brad and I just keep looking at it.
Look how, you can see You can see the actual texture of the material that the gun is made of.
Yeah, you can see the texture for it. You can see it.
Really
TarRiverArms.com. Plus, when you order through TarRiverArms.com and they send the gun, because in order to buy online, you have to have it sent to a local person with a federal firearms license, a local store, something like that. And they actually give you the gun then. That's the whole government control, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to handle the transfer fees and the shipping. So all you know is you order your gun after seeing perfect images online, and then have it shipped to where you want, and you pick it up. That's it.
It really does make it
revolutionary. TarRiverArms.com. And so many people have heard us talk about it and realize that it's a great deal that they've said, yep, I'm going to go purchase. It's a veteran-owned business. It's run by veterans, and they always have different specials. Like they still have one P365 left. It's a Sig Sauer gun, normally retailing for about $525, plus with a holster, a TAC flatliner holster, $63. You get a 12-round magazine for $40. A package would be just under $700. Tar River Arms MoJo price today, $585. All you have to do is go to TarRiverArms.com. It's TarRiverArms.com. And Brad, do they still have that one up, right?
Let's see. That's the Sig.
I want to make sure that one, because they've sold a bunch of guns already, and I know they sold one of the P365s.
Let's see. I think there's one.
That's last. I think it was Friday. There was still one.
Yeah, I think there.
Of that was not.
Yeah,
so anyway,
still one here.
Check it out today. It's TarRiverArms.com. Okay, that's my bad. All right, joining us now, Audrey. How are you?
Good. Good morning. Good to talk to you guys.
Good to have you on, Audrey Decker. What company are you working with, or how do people know more about you? Because you're doing so many different things.
Yeah. So I'm the president of I'm Tomorrow. We're a nonprofit organization that is focused on getting millennials and Generation Z prepared and ready to vote.
And how's that going?
It's going good. You know, we're on over 117 campuses across the country, mostly Christian universities and colleges, and it's been going well. It's interesting. A lot in the next generation are often apathetic to the political process, and we've got to re-engage them. Right, largest generation in history. We've got to connect them to the voting process.
So you mentioned Generation Z. And it's on Generation Z on college campus. I don't think people realize the millennials are moving beyond college now.
Wow.
That's right. Yeah. It's crazy to think that right now our university campuses are kind of split 50-50. There's still some millennials, but Generation Z is quickly taking over.
How is that? How are they different from your perspective when it comes to the election, voting, and their ideas versus the millennials? Because one of the things I noticed a couple of years ago, and I've talked about it a couple of times, is that they are not politically correct, that they're rebuking a lot of things that the millennials were a part of, a lot of progressive ideas even.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because they are so different from millennials. I'm a millennial, right on the edge, because in Generation Z, but I'm a millennial. And I when I interact with people that are Generation Z, I even notice a big difference. I mean, they're a generation that grew up with complete access to technology, and they never have known a world without social media, which is just crazy to think about. So the way that my generation slowly interacted with Facebook, sort of in our high school years is when we started using it. It's just so different from the fact that Generation Z has had Snapchat and Instagram, and that is so much of their world. So, I mean, that difference right there is really revolutionary in the fact that this is the first generation that has grown up completely with technology. So, yeah, when you look at politics, I mean, their views are going to be shaped in a lot of ways on what they see in their newsfeed and that peer-to-peer interaction in a way that just hasn't been that way before.
Do you see them, again, I'm talking Generation Z, being one of the keys to success for conservatives and libertarians? Because I really think they probably are. I mean, we know, Andrea, listen, we all know, even people on the left, the things we argue about, they know they're wrong about that stuff. They do. There's no way they don't know they're wrong. They just start from a, yes, but I feel, we know all of those things. So I think when it comes to millennials, for example, I mean, obviously the baby boomers, they know this stuff is crap. You get the Gen Xers, and we're like, all right, people have forgotten about us again. We know it's crap. The millennials had this stuff thrust upon them. They secretly know it's crap, but they don't know. They're like, oh my gosh, I can tell a dirty joke. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't want to, I mean, it's nothing against them. I mean, you've been stifled. But the Generation Z is like, you know what? Y'all just shut the hell up. That's kind of what they're doing. So if that's the case, I mean, are we going to have a moment down the road, a year, 10, 5, whatever it is, where we start seeing that pendulum swing back where we say, we're done with all of this?
Yeah, I think to some extent they're done with the political correctness and the partisan bickering on both sides that goes back and forth. I think in a lot of ways they want to have real conversation and dialogue. Now, this isn't everyone. I mean, we see the stories, right, about the safe spaces and trigger warnings, and there certainly is an aspect that this next generation has been subject to a lot of the indoctrination that's happened on our campuses. But I would say there's this little fraction that is very extreme liberal left, and there's a little fraction that's, far, far to the right. But I think the majority haven't decided yet, and they don't want to park themselves in one of two political camps. They don't want to say they like politics, but they do care, and that's the name of our campaign. It's called Because I Care, and it's vote not because you like politics, but because you care. You care about your community. You care about our country, and those are the things that we need to connect for millennials, that you can care about things, and that can drive your political involvement, not because you like politics. Heck, most people are involved because they care.
And that's you're right, and that's kind of a marketing thing then too, right? Because if those people are triggered or that's an idea or a concept they like, then it's going to be good marketing, right?
Yeah, and part of it is we really want millennials and Generation Z to, instead of picking a political party, we want them to focus on the principles and the ideals and have a discussion around those. And so certainly when we encourage millennials to care about the impoverished who are hungry for a better life, or veterans desperate for better health care, or about our communities, or about the vulnerable, those who can't defend themselves, when we bring up those kinds of issues, it becomes more than even just a marketing tactic or a tagline. We're really directing them, hey, we're not telling you who to vote for. We're not telling you vote Republican or vote Democrat. We're saying think for a minute about the important issues in our country and about the principles that have been proven to work throughout history, that have given us the longest running constitutional republic in the history of the world, and vote for those.
Yeah, you're touching on something that I've realized recently, that we misunderstand each other so much. Everybody misunderstands everybody. I mean, think about the people that you care most about in your life, the people you're closest with, and even those people who would theoretically give you a benefit of the doubt over anything you would missay or, misspeak or mishear back and forth, that even at times with those people that we care most about, that care most about us, still at times you're like, what do you mean by that? Right? Spouses and parents and children, you still with them. So imagine coworkers that you don't know as well, or neighbors, or somebody you just met. Now imagine somebody who is philosophically different than you. Oh my gosh, it's a formula for disaster. So generationally, and then also from left versus right, we hear things and assume things so different. So for example, Audria, look at President Trump. President Trump's supporters hear him say things and they know he's just trolling, or he's goofing, or he doesn't mean it literally. Or if he does, he's just being tough. That's how they hear it. People on the left go, oh, right? And the same thing for us. We hear people on the left, politicians, whoever that person would be, and we're like, oh, geez, listen to them now. They may not mean exactly that. That's a problem.
It is. I had a conversation just this week with a young millennial, and he was telling me, hey, I think my views are really different from yours. And we were just sitting down. I was like, tell me about it. And he said, I'm really more of a socialist. Well, I don't know if I'd classify myself as a socialist, but I align more with Bernie Sanders' policies. And we started talking about what he thinks about the president and what he thinks about some of the policies that have been presented. And we had a really good dialogue back and forth. I mean, this was probably for 10, 15 minutes. And he's a friend, and we're going to do it again. And that is what our country is all about. And quite frankly, he's probably going to make me stronger in what I believe, and we're going to refine each other and better knowing what are the principles and ideals that actually drive the policies that we believe in. And policies affect people. So there are important conversations that need to be had, and we can have those across the aisle, even with someone that you think you might totally disagree with. So yeah, I mean, to your point, that's exactly what needs to be happening.
So where do you go from here? We've got a week from tomorrow.
Oh, it's crazy. A week from tomorrow. Well, I just would remind people that there's over 70,000 elections happening across the country, which is kind of crazy to think about. And so certainly, like, we're really focused on Congress and what we think is going to happen with the Senate. That might stay red. The House, that might go blue. Who knows? But I would just say don't forget about the rest of the ballot, too, because there's school board races, and there's state legislator positions, and there's governors, and there's all sorts of things that people are voting for. And so people need to make sure that they know what's on their ballot. We have a really cool tool at BecauseICare.us where people can access a sample ballot. They can see exactly what's on their ballot and read about the candidates. And we've pulled information just from the candidates' websites, and so it's all straight from their mouths, and people need to make sure that they're actually ready to vote. And it takes a little bit of time, but our tool makes it really easy. So at BecauseICare.us, people need to make sure they're ready to vote.
BecauseICare.us.
That's right.
All right.
And click on sample ballot.
Before I let you go, all right, predictions for the House and Senate.
Oh boy. Well, I think the Senate is gonna. I think the Senate's gonna stay red, but I think the House is gonna go blue. I mean, it's looking like that might be the case. It's gonna be really interesting, but you never know. We could have another red, Republican upset like we did in 2016. No one saw that one coming. So it always comes down to voter turnout, and people have to take this election seriously and vote for the values and ideals you believe in. Your vote really does matter, and it really does make a difference.
I think some of the stuff like Kavanaugh on that still is resonant. Well, and even some of the stuff last week with the bombs and everything else is resonating to keep people on the right energized. They should be less energized using history as our guide, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Right. Well, and when I was reading some of the articles that were saying that the House could go blue, I think if anything that just mobilizes Republican voters more to get to the polls and make sure that their voice is heard. So that actually could work to Republicans' advantage.
All right, Audrey, appreciate you joining us. That website again?
Thanks so much. It's BecauseICare.us.
BecauseICare.us. All right. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks so much.
Good information there. I like the fact that she touched on so many things we've been talking about generational and communicating.
That's just it. And I went to the website. The great thing is when you go there, you can click on sample ballot. You can see you get the whole ballot for whatever area you're in. And I looked at it. The first thing I thought was, man, it really sucks to be Neil Dykman.
Neil Dykman?
Neil Dykman.
Why?
He's the other candidate for he's the candidate for the Texas for the U.S. Senate for Texas against Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke. But what have you heard about him?
Hey,
wait a minute.
I'm here too.
He's a libertarian candidate.
What about me?
He's nobody until I just said Neil Dykman. I don't think anybody had said his name, but you can go to BecauseICare.us and click on sample ballot, put in your zip code, find out about the different elections in your area, and really get drill down into the different candidates and find out what they're all about.
Man, you got to feel bad for him anyways. What with the Dykman name?
Yes, he really is.
So I understand.
Yeah.
Are you a lesbian? Or are you a dude? I don't get it.
It's like Saul
You're
Goodman.
a dyke man. You understand those are conflicting. I don't get it.
And the comments coming in from around, and especially over on MeWe, Mr. Busy says, I'm from the generation. He says I think he means that I'm from the generation that hates people. And I'm getting closer and closer. Don Cheech says, I'm at the age where F you, F off, and F that answer almost every question I'm asked.
Oh, yeah.
It's really true. It's all love, man. It's all love.
I'm saying, part of it, we try to tell you the future, some of the things to pay attention because it's going to make us stronger, make us better, and also give you some business opportunities. The generational thing, obviously huge, understanding different generations, but the communication thing, and really realizing how triggered people are back and forth simply because we don't understand. You know, they hear democratic socialism and they hear, oh,
yes,
it's not.
It sounds pretty.
Brad, it's not socialism.
It's democratic socialism.
What are you getting about that? Well, we know the truth because, you know, it's not just the words, even their system. Even if they believe they understand the system, it's just the next step. We get that. But that's an example. Socialism, you put socialism next to anything, or social justice now, these are triggering words. I'm automatically at no. No.
But it sounds so good. Social and justice.
Who doesn't like justice?
And who doesn't like being social?
Right, exactly. This is...
I totally understand where it's all about controlling the language and controlling the vernacular. And you once you do that, man, you control everything.
Well, and then think about it. So we automatically give a pass to the people we like and the candidates we support, right? Trump can do and say horrible things, and the people that like him will go, he's great. He's great. Because they want to support him, because overall they like him, whatever, and that's fine.
He loves the children.
But then on top of it, you've got the things he says that he's just joking. What are you talking about? He's goofing. He's trolling, and you guys fell for it. Again, we see it as funny or good or a positive. He's taking down the media. They hear the media is dangerous. It's the enemy of the people. You know what he's saying? He wants to shut down and censor. He's not saying that at all. He's calling out media bias, which you should be happy. They don't hear that at all. Meanwhile, he's triggering, he's attacking the media, and they don't like Fox News being biased.
Right. No one likes any bias if it's biased for the other side.
Right, exactly.
Everybody doesn't mind bias if it's biased toward you.
There's good bias and there's bad bias,
the
right?
Good bias is the bias that, slants it my way. If it slants it your way,
that's horrible.
That's the bad bias.
It's bad, it's terrible.
But that's the way we are in everything.
Well,
that's
and then
the way human beings are.
People say, well, it's about truth. It's about whatever. That is true.
Justice on the American way.
However, although it's not your truth, because that's you know what? Speak your truth. Vote your truth. I hate that. Shut up. Knock it off.
I do too.
Because what that is, I'm trying to give them better. Let's say there's a communication breakdown, right? Maybe they're not saying what I'm hearing or how I'm taking it. Okay. I'm hearing, well, whatever crazy ass emotional opinion you have, that's true.
Right.
Because they say it often when it comes to, you believe you're a transgender and trans species fiddler crab. Vote your truth, crab.
Vote your truth, crab.
You pull that lever with your little pincer. Just pull it down there, you two-spirit fiddler crab. Do it. You've got two. I'll even help you raise you up so you can just pull it right down there with your little pincer. With your little red crab claw.
It is such a trigger.
Right.
Your truth. Speak your
truth. So that's what I hear him saying, right? They might be saying, and I'm trying to understand this, we all have a different perspective in things. Okay, I'll give you that. Then say it that way.
And that is
it's about perspective, because you're right. There is truth and there is not truth, but there is also perspective. And there are also gray areas.
You say there's truth and there's not truth.
And there is not truth. There is lies or untruth. It's fake. It's fiction.
I paid thousands and thousands of dollars to learn the one simple trick when you're
and you're going to give it to us for free.
And I'm giving it to you for free. I don't know why, but I'm going to. When you're having a discussion like that with somebody that is, crazy, you have to respond by saying, what I hear you saying is blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then let them respond to that. Because 9 times out of 10, no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Right. You got to say it in a nice way.
Okay.
We don't do that.
Right. Yes.
So I get it. If you're saying gray area, got it. If you're saying, because some things there are gray areas, right?
Yes.
Or out of context.
The world is full of gray. The world is not black and white.
But I mean, I think there are some black and whites.
that would mean that the world is full of gray. Yeah.
No, it is, because that's part of it. I mean, there are some absolutes in my
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
and others
yes,
as well.
absolutely.
But there are some, and then there's also the perspective in it. But we don't talk about that. If we were to communicate that way, might be in a slightly better situation. All of this has got to be maddening if you're dating nowadays as well. I cannot imagine that. It is. My wife is on the right. She is more right about some things than I am. She is a very nice and understanding woman, and still we have so much trouble communicating. And I'm not talking about the language barrier or the culture barrier. That's a whole world unto itself. It's just, I had to say to her yesterday, what was it she said? And I was like, do you realize how that came across? I had to say that about, do you know what I heard? Here's how that was. Well, I didn't mean it that way. I know.
Right.
But when you called me an effing a-hole, I took that as a negative. I don't know.
You're too sensitive.
Right, I know.
You're just too sensitive.
When you said, get off your lazy ass, you effing a-hole, I took that as a negative.
They see women say that, and they mean it in love.
I didn't understand that, and she pointed that out. Right.
Yeah.
That's got to be crazy when you're dating. I cannot imagine dating somebody on the left. I just could not do it. So in a possible dating scenario, I would have to weed them out immediately. So if you're going to join a dating site, consider wethepeople.dating, because they've already weeded those people out. They've taken millions and millions of people, a database of people online dating. Online dating.
Would that be wed? I mean,
Wed.
the past tense of weeded, wouldn't that be wed?
I don't know.
They've wed
I
those
don't know.
people out.
I really don't know.
I think it is.
Is it?
They've wed them out.
Look it up. You're just messing with me on that. I think it's weeded. They've gotten rid of those people. They've taken them out.
They've killed
them all. No, they've taken the database of millions and millions and said, hey, all of you that are constitutionally minded, conservative, libertarian, we're going to include you in this pool of people over here. And you could find them down, already whittled down, wethepeople.dating. It's wethepeople.dating. Check it out today.
Mr. Busy says there's some black and white. How racist. See, that's what I'm saying. There's gray in the world. You're all black and white, Mr. Black and White racist person over there. Thank you, Mr. Busy. I agree with you.
I know. It's very insensitive of me.
Just a little racist over there. That's all I can say.
Did you see HBO is making it safer for actors now?
Safer for
actors.
No,
That's right.
I didn't see that.
Well, HBO's had a lot of shows that were about different freaky sexploits and things over the years. And a lot of actors and actors have been involved in intimate scenes over the years. Well, HBO says they want to make it more safe for difficult scenarios where people are engaging in simulated sex acts or maybe even sex acts. So they're going to make it safer by requiring every intimate scene, even if it's just foreplay or oral discussions, or
oral discussions,
like where you're just talking about sex,
Right,
basically, or outright sex, to be first consulted by an intimacy coordinator.
I volunteer.
For the job?
Yes.
You've been looking for work. And
I volunteer to be an intimacy coordinator.
I hate my high school guidance counselor.
They should have guided you to that.
Yes, exactly. Doesn't it just seem like an intimacy coordinator on scene would just lead to more #MeToo situations?
You'd think so, but I'm willing to take that
Okay,
chance.
Janice, he's going to put his hand right there. No,
Yeah.
right here. Let me show you right here.
Right here. Does that make you uncomfortable?
Okay, well, mark that down. I'm making a note of it here.
She's uncomfortable when I put my hand here. So when you go to put your hand over here, don't put it right here.
How about this, Janice? If I caress this way against the grain, is that okay? No, you like it with the grain? Okay, good. So, Steve, make a note of it.
You're saying it's like wood.
Right, exactly. It's wood. That's
It's
what
wood.
it is. Get your comments in with the hashtag What I Learned Today.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Due in court later today, the man accused of the massacre at a Pittsburgh synagogue and left 11 people dead and 6 others wounded. If one federal prosecutor has his way, the suspect, Robert Bowers, will face a death sentence if convicted.
U.S. Attorney Scott Brady says he has begun the process to get Attorney General Jeff Sessions' approval, as required by law, to pursue a capital case against Bowers. Brady says multiple search warrants have been issued in the investigation of Bowers, a long-haul trucker who worked as an independent contractor.
Correspondent Ken Lorman. Also due in court today, Cesar Sayoc, man accused of sending explosive devices to a number of high-profile Democrats around the country last week. DNA evidence and a fingerprint said by investigators to have led them to Sayoc, a Florida man, to be prosecuted in New York because many of the 14 bombs wound up there. A search operation now underway in the sea northeast of Jakarta, Indonesia. That's where a Lion Air jetliner carrying 189 people crashed early today.
Indonesia's search and rescue teams say they've found bodies alongside the debris of the Boeing 737 plane in the Java Sea, while families of those on board are waiting anxiously for news at the military airport here in Jakarta, where a crisis center has been set up. Some so weak they need help walking.
The BBC's Rebecca Henschke in Jakarta. The plane went down just minutes after takeoff. It's another World Series victory for the Red Sox. Boston capturing its 4th World Series championship in 15 seasons, beating the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures up 106 points. NASDAQ futures better by 73. S&P futures up 22 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out wethepeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out wethepeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. Wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
Doc Thompson, MoJo 50.
Hey, a supermarket worker in the United Kingdom is suing his company for racial discrimination that stemmed from a colleague farting in his face. He was a victim of, quote, unwanted conduct, which had the purpose of violating his dignity or creating an intimidating, hostile, and or offensive situation, and in the act of a colleague breaking wind in the claimant's face, a smelly environment for him because of his race. Your Honor, I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit A, the defendant's pants that he wore on that day. I would like to introduce you now to Professor Bitterby-Schmad, who is prepared to testify at this moment that these pants do contain, indeed, small, tiny, microscopic particles of poo. Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
The mothership has landed.
It absolutely has landed. Thank you so much for joining us. Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on MoJo 50. I'm trying to figure out what I want to get to first. There's so many things I still got to get to today. All right.
The list is long, but distinguished.
I throw this in there and I just found something just casually interesting.
Toss it out there.
So I Googled Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs over the weekend. Just Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs.
Is there porn for it?
I did not look that deep, but Rule 34 says that there is, Rule 34. If it exists, there is porn of it.
Therefore.
Want a little exercise, Ron?
That's interesting.
Ron, here's a fun exercise when you're home alone at night, a little bored. Type in random words along with the word porn. Pick something.
Oh, no, that cannot be good.
Chevy, peanut butter, Luxembourg, and porn. And you will find somebody engaged with in a sexual activity in Luxembourg with peanut butter and a Chevy. It just and by the way,
wow,
am I right?
Peanut butter getting eaten, and that's all I can do.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I can tell
And
you.
I just made this up off the top of my head. And by the way, you're like, okay, so there'll be one out there. No, there'll be 1,000 with that combination.
Wow.
So rule 34, if it exists, there is porn of it. I'm not kidding. It does not matter the combination of words you come up with.
Peanut butter jelly videos and porn movies.
Filmed in Luxembourg.
Inside a Chevy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Of course, we used to call it Suxenberg, but that's a whole different thing.
Sex toy mat videos. It says it right there.
It's all there.
Now we know.
So, yeah, I'm sure if you look deep enough, Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, you'll find it somewhere.
Holy cannolis. Those are the images that come up.
Okay, let's move on.
Wow.
Anyway, so I Google, and when you go to Google and Google, not and or anything, Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, and see what happens when you do that.
Oh, boy. Hang on. All right. Doc Thompson.
Pull it up. Pull it up, see what happens.
All right. And
normally you probably see a lot of shots of this show, right?
Yeah. That's
go to images. Sorry, go to images.
Go to images. All right. Images. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Every one of them is from this show, me and you, right?
Yeah, just
Okay,
about.
like the first couple of dozen. Now go to Yahoo.
Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yahoo.
And Google the same
Yahoo.com.
thing. Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, and then go to, again, images as well when you do this.
All right. No, Brad Staggs.
Images, right. Yes. Okay.
Wow. There's
Why does Caitlyn Jenner come up within like the first 6 images? No, I mean, there is none of me. Again, it's not ego. I just found it fascinating. The first one, Brad Staggs, then some random dude we've never seen, then Kathy Griffin, Rand Paul's father, Ron Paul.
Ron Paul, yeah.
Another one of Brad, a round table of you with Jeffy, and Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, it's not till you get to about the 15th image before we even see Doc.
That's what I'm like.
That
What?
is bizarre. That is so strange.
I don't know why, but I was just like, wow, that's really
Wow.
weird. I was Googling over the weekend. Well, I started with Yahoo and was going to try to find an image. It used to be Yahoo had better images than Google.
Hell
Now
yeah.
Google
Negan
outdoes them.
beat you out, Doc.
Wow.
Who did?
Yeah.
Negan?
Negan from the
Yeah.
Walking Dead. You know,
Yeah.
that zombie show.
Yeah. All of this, as I'm
That's,
saying. I just found it fascinating. So I Googled, I'm like, really? There's none of us? Then whatever. So I went over to Google. Boom, they got it.
You know what I learned from all this is always sit next to Jeffy. It makes me look so slim.
Right?
It really does. Each and every time. That is very odd. And Jeffrey Tambor comes up too in that search.
See, that's what I'm saying. Caitlyn Jenner. Yes, for those of you confused, I have not transitioned. That's not what's going on here.
And the worst possible picture of me, by the way, is that first one that comes up. I don't even know where they get that. I don't even know where that picture came from.
That's not that bad.
That's horrible. It doesn't look like me.
That's why it's good.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Yeah, that was a fun little exercise.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I don't know where all of that's going,
See
whatever.
what happens if I add the word porn to it.
Crud. Have we been photoshopped?
Wow, size does matter.
I'm claiming photoshopped on that. That's what I'm claiming.
I
right.
don't recall you ever doing that to me.
Well,
that is so. I would have remembered that.
What with the roofies, you're not going to remember.
The forget me nows.
All right, we need to get to a caravan update now.
Oh yes, it's on the way.
Type in caravan and porn and see what you get. It's on the way, and they're almost here, Brad.
I cannot wait.
Even though they were thousands of miles away, they're somehow going to make it here just before and on Election Day. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's amazing that their timing is absolutely uncanny on that on the trail to the United States.
Brad and I were doing some research this morning on the caravan before this broadcast. And by research, I mean we were sitting around watching the news.
Pretty much.
And I looked at the caravan, and they even had reporters embedded with the caravan. You're embedded with them.
And they couldn't say the name of the town either.
Not in bed with the caravan.
Right.
They've always been in bed, embedded, like down there with them. And those reporters are showing the caravan behind them, and they're like, look at these people, and they're struggling. And I said to Brad, I go, do you notice how clean the caravan is?
Very clean.
You have people, lots of people, wearing white hats and T-shirts. White T-shirts and hats that are whiter than my clothes.
Yes.
I mean, these have been perfectly laundered.
Yeah.
So apparently they do have bleach and all temperature.
Yes, they do.
On the caravan. They are all the other clothes as well. The colors are vibrant as all temperature, is
this migrant caravan brought to you by All Temperature. Now your clothes can be as clean as the caravan's clothes. All Temperature.
Whether you're washing your clothes in hot water that you've boiled over a campfire or smashing them upon river rocks in the cold trickling waters and rivers in central Mexico, All Temperature will make sure your clothes are perfectly clean. So when the cameras are on you, they'll say, we don't mind those clean migrants as long as it's not dirty.
You don't want to show up at the back door of the United States dirty, do you?
You don't want your hat in hand and have it dirty. You don't want a dirty hat in hand.
No. It is amazing. They all looked, and the women on the cell phones?
Oh, yeah. You got cell phones, but life is so terrible in Honduras.
And remember that there was another caravan forming in, I think it was El Salvador or Honduras, one of the places. And the way that they were getting the word out was through WhatsApp.
Right.
So, okay, things are really horrible there. But you've got WhatsApp on your cell phone. How's that coverage doing for you, by the way, down there along the way? Were there dead spots along the caravans?
Well,
we've got to sign up for a Patriot Mobile account.
We should tell them that. Oh, my gosh. They're not going to know. Just market to them. You're like, hey, you're Patriots, right? It's a generic term, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll apply to others.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You go, hell, there it is. And you'll get amazing coverage and service.
And if Tide didn't have a washing machine truck driving along with the caravan, they missed out on a hell of an opportunity.
So you've got these people that look pretty well fed and well rested with clean clothes.
Yep.
That's not enough to tell you it's a scam? Well, I've got more for you.
Oh, good.
The caravan was discussed recently by the president of Mexico. I mean, this has been a topical issue. It's marching through his country.
Right.
And he offered them, president of Mexico, said, we will, as a country, give you food and shelter and medical care and education and jobs.
Nice.
So, let me back up. They're coming from Honduras and El Salvador and Guatemala because their life is so bad. It is dangerous because there are criminal elements, right?
Yep.
They fear for their lives. Number two, the economy is bad. They don't have food. They're literally starving. Mexico says, hey, we will give you food and shelter and medical. We will give you education and we will give you jobs. In other words, you will be safe and well-fed. You'll have education and jobs. All of that stuff. The caravan refused.
Shocking.
They're demanding entry into the U.S.
Of course they are.
So when he said this, the caravan voted.
Whoa. They voted?
They voted.
Was this a voice vote or a hand vote? Or
it was a voice vote. Voice vote, show of hands.
I would have loved to have been there for that one. How you?
Yes, I know. It's hilarious. So somebody presented this offer somehow along the way. Wow. And they're like, okay, show of hands. Who wants to stay in Mexico? They're going to give us food, shelter, medical, education, jobs, all of this.
All in favor? All in favor, C.
Instead, most of them rejected the offer.
Of course they did.
And they insisted that their final destination be the United States and demanded entry. After the vote, they started chanting in Spanish, no thank you, heading north.
No, gracias, vámonos norte. Or something to that effect.
Yep. And
we go north.
over and over.
That's not a really good chance. No gracias.
Well, I don't know. In Spanish, maybe it rhymes or
norte.
something.
Vamos norte. I think
You're probably saying it wrong.
I don't know. I'm pretty affluent.
Are you pretty affluent?
Pretty affluent in Spanish.
You're pretty wealthy compared to people that speak Spanish?
Oh, yeah. Pretty affluent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brad, this seems like they're arguments of why they were leaving and why we need help, because it's not just about America letting them in. We're supposed to be giving money to those countries for those.
Yes.
It makes it sound like, and I just want to throw this out to you, it makes it sound like crap, like it's all been a lie to you.
Why do you hate the caravan so much? Why do you hate people? Never mind, I already know. Yeah, that's because it's a load of crap. That's because this whole thing is a giant media op. That's because this entire charade is a charade.
So if that's the case, and we know it is, and this is about the midterm primarily, I mean, there's other things as well, what will become of the caravan after the midterm?
The same thing that happened to the last one. It's almost like when you throw ice into water and the ice just slowly just disappears.
And it disappeared.
That's gonna happen to this. They're just going to. Plus, we won't hear about them after the election. The media they'll pack all the cameras up, so we won't even know. But yeah, they'll just kind of dissipate. They'll just.
So I'm curious then, because they'll disperse somehow.
Yes.
Will they then chant? Rethinking your offer. Heading south.
Vamos. How do you know how you spell south?
South
in Spanish.
Reconsidering.
Excuse me.
Is that offer still valid? Is that offer still valid?
Mexico, about the offer.
About those jobs, education, food, shelter, and medical.
There's a one-time offer. One-time deal.
Does the offer still stand?
Wow.
It doesn't chant as well as thank you heading north.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
We also got some other new information about that caravan of just really good people.
Sir.
7 kids have been rescued from human trafficking smugglers in the caravan.
What? Are you insinuating there were bad people in this caravan? How dare you?
No, and let me clarify, I'm not insinuating that at all.
Good.
I am outright declaring it. I'm stating that there are, without question, some bad people in the caravan.
Wow.
Not all, but there are some. So Guatemala, some authorities in Guatemala, some policia
in Guatemala.
They rescued 77 unaccompanied minors from human smugglers that were working inside the caravan. What they were basically doing is, no, we're just caravan marchers. That's it.
Yeah, these are our kids.
No, they're our kids.
You know, they just got horrible little mouths on them. We have to gag them that way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So they had to rescue them. 7 of them. So, and again, we had reports that there are some people that were part of this caravan that weren't from Central America, but were from the Middle East and Asia.
As a percentage, that's very low.
And they claimed, no, that's all a lie. It's just a misrepresentation in order to cast aspersions on the good people of the caravan.
Are you casting aspersions on the good character of the caravan, sir?
And then one of the funniest headlines from the caravan. It's very simple, and yet I laughed aloud when I saw it over the weekend. It's being reported. This was a headline from theguardian.com. It says, migrant caravan members unfazed by Trump say, quote, he'll change his thinking.
He'll change his thinking.
Hope springs eternal.
Yes, it does.
No, I think he's going to change his mind before we get there. They've sent the National Guard to the border.
Yeah.
It is the midterm election.
Yeah.
His base will not stand for anything short of secure the border and keep them out.
That's true.
It says many of the migrants expressed optimism in their vision of the U.S. as President tweets. The president tweets, "Go back to your country."
With your phone. With your cell phone and your WhatsApp.
24-year-old Daniel Halahoa said, and I think you'll appreciate her words. She said, "My dream is to go there, work, and save enough money to help my family. I can hopefully then have my nephew come to the United States legally with a visa and then express that she believes that Trump will change his mind."
Wow.
Another person said, "We think he'll change his way of thinking and let us through." What's we're asking, it's an odd, what's we're asking God for is that he allows us to enter the United States so that all this sacrifice doesn't go in vain.
Here's the sad thing. There are some people in that caravan who believe that that's what they're marching for. There is a certain percentage of those people that they've picked up along the way that believe they are actually marching for a better life.
And that's the problem.
Yes.
They are the useful idiots.
Yes.
That's not casting aspersions on them. I'm not
just
calling them
they're
idiotic.
They're pawns.
They're being used, right? They're pawns. They lack information. They are ignorant. Not that they're not capable of knowing or not smart, but they are ignorant to what's really happening. All of the politics, the international politics at play, as well as domestic politics with the United States, economies, elections, border security. They don't know any of that. All they know is they're inspired by this potential, this beacon that is America.
Yeah.
And you've got people that are using the caravan to hide criminal activity, but mainly it's being used for a political purpose. And that's reprehensible.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, listen, these people that are just good people that truly want a better way of life, as long as they get America, I welcome them here through the legal channels.
Yes.
But you've got to do it legally. Now, if you would come to me and say, "Doc, you don't understand how difficult it is for people to legally immigrate here." Okay. First of all, I do understand how difficult it is and how expensive. But if you say we've got to change the laws, that's fine. Maybe we change the laws. That doesn't mean you excuse people who violate the laws. For example, I don't want to pay my taxes.
I support you in that.
Yes. I work to change the tax laws. I hope they will change. But I don't get to say, "Well, I'm not paying my taxes then until they change."
You can do that.
Yes, I can.
And I'll come visit you at least once in prison.
Yes, there is going to be consequences.
Yes, there will be.
And the same thing here. There are consequences. You don't have to follow the law while trying to change the law, but it doesn't excuse you from prosecution and punishment for violating that law. Somehow the left doesn't care about that because for them, it's about something greater.
They caravan.
They caravan. I see what you're doing there.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate that. By the way, ELS just tweeted, if you type in caravan and porn, you get Alyssa Milano.
For a split second, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense."
Yeah, doggone it. Every now and then, the interweb surprises you.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Actually, though, if you type in a lot of things with porn, you're going to get Alyssa Milano. So that's not all that shocking when you think about it whatsoever. It's
While we were, the Duchess tweeted, while we were chasing domestic disturbances, the cameras were off the air-conditioned buses getting the caravan closer. We lost at least 4 days.
There it is.
That's true.
That's what's going on. You're absolutely right. All right, so somebody had commented, it was on MeWe or Facebook.
It was over here on JP. JP commented, "Hey, great segment. Side note, is that a gun on the table? LOL, I missed
I don't know what
Texas.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah, it's a gun on the table. We keep our firearms handy. We don't know if somebody's going to walk in or even
You never know.
if that Ron
Phillips.
Yeah,
Ron
okay.
Phillips.
Gets a little uppity, you know,
As he
right
is,
through the glass.
As he is wont to do.
Right. No, this is in here as a representation of one of the things that will be in our big Black Friday prize pack that you can win. It will be a gun, not this. This is a Glock 9?
It's a Glock 23.
23. Mine's a Glock 24.
Sure it is.
Not necessarily this maker model,
No,
but there
it's
will
just
be a handgun that will be in the prize pack. Also in the prize pack, a Minuteman watch. This is actually the watch right here.
That is the watch, a Team Rubicon watch from Minuteman Watches. Those are fabulous watches. The only watch I wear, as a matter of fact.
There it is. You see this right here?
But not that watch. That's not the only watch I wear.
In fact,
That's the way
I can guarantee and certify this has never been on Brad Stagg's, which makes it valuable. Because if it had been, then you have to sell it as like a used loaner, whatever. Also, a Yellow Jacket stun gun battery backup case for your cell phone.
Whoa, they even make those things?
Yeah, so it's for your cell phone. You carry it around, but it has a battery backup, and in case it goes down,
whoa,
right there.
There's a stun gun inside a cell phone case, which is also a battery backup for your.
So you're stunned by that information?
You gotta love this country. When we can come up with not just a phone case to protect a phone, but a phone case that charges your phone and a phone case that'll ward off the bad guys. I mean, this is a great country.
It's a great country.
No wonder the caravan wants to come here.
So you can win this. Oh, there's going to be other stuff in the pack as well, including some MoJo wild rice. Value of the pack right now is probably $1,500. It'll be at least $2,000, and we're hopeful it may get to $3,000, maybe more, $1,000. All you have to do is register by going to MoJo50.com. MoJo50.com and register. And does it come up on the main screen as soon as it's like a pop-up as soon as you log on? Is that where you register?
For just to put their name
Black Friday price pack.
No, it just their fields are right there on the screen, right next to the play button for the.
Is the play button?
So it'll actually be under Black Friday, is what you're saying?
It's on the front page.
No, it's on the front page. We just got fields there. There's not a specific prize package thing that is Black Friday.
So you go to mojo50.com.
Yeah, if you register on our website, right below the main picture.
Oh, you'll see a place to just register.
Yep.
Yes, it does not necessarily say Black Friday. It just says listen live and join our mailing list.
And that's how we give you better chances of winning
correct.
if you're smart.
Yes.
Because it weeds out the dumb people.
Yes, it really does. If you're stupid, you're not going to know that you can go right there and register for the Black Friday prize
Nothing to do with laziness or oversight on our part.
No.
Also, as part of the prize pack, some supplements from The Rich Solution at therichsolution.com. The Rich Solution is multifaceted. Gwen Rich tells her story at therichsolution.com via book. There's some stuff on the website, little excerpts to tell her story, how she has managed to stave off cancer and survive cancer longer than most people with her particular type of cancer.
Pretty amazing story.
It's an amazing story. So she tells about how it's about attitude and changing your life, and it's also about supplements. And you can even get some of those supplements online. Just look under supplements at therichsolution.com. Now, they're going to go ahead and throw in some of those supplements. These are top-of-the-line supplements. It's a great combination, and they've put packages together to make sure you're getting supplements that work together with other supplements in the proper combination and dosages for the various things you might want to target. More cognitive function. Oh, how funny was that just now?
You should double
liver,
up on
heart health, whatever it is. Just go to therichsolution.com. It's therichsolution.com. Solution.
Corey Bolton over on Facebook. What's up, Doc and Bede? Glad I found you again. So glad I found you too, Coley. So glad. That's the Doc and Bede show. It's I think he
autocorrect. Do you think that's what that was?
Either that or he just has no idea who I am.
He doesn't know. Your name is Steve.
It's right.
It's Steve.
Try to get it right, Coley.
Get your comments in. And if deemed worthy by Ron, we'll include him in the show.
With great mojo comes great responsibility. Mojo 50.
Are you tired of the bar scene? Tired of trying to meet people that maybe you just don't know? I'll tell you what, I'm a classic example of online dating. I met my beautiful wife online on a dating platform, and you can too. Check out wethepeople.dating. There's a better way for all of you single guys and you ladies out there. You know what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner ought to be your number one goal, just like the Constitution. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, if you're looking for someone, you don't have any time, you've got a computer, you've got an internet, you can start browsing wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner shouldn't be a mantra, it should be a goal. For the love of people and people of love. Listen to Matt Locke, check out wethepeople.dating.
You cannot retreat to your safe spaces. There are no therapy poodles allowed when facing the truth. And that's just how we like it. Straight, hard-hitting, conservatarian truth. On the rocks. No chaser. No marches. No protest. Only small, limited government, constitutional conversations. Exclusively on MoJo 50. We get into foreign policy. We get into national politics. We get into constitutional, libertarian, conservative ideology. We put the brakes on the media spin by destroying the lies, dismantling the narratives, and bringing you the stone-cold hard truth. Every weekend on MoJo 50. Join me, Adrian Slade, for a raging hour-long discussion, deconstructing the headlines and delivering you the entire full story. Only on MoJo 50. Live free.
I get the comments in via social media. I have to bring up the video that MSNBC tweeted out over the weekend and posted on Facebook, posted all over. Did you see the one of the president ascending the steps into Air Force One?
With the umbrella.
With the umbrella. Did you see what happened there?
Thoughtless.
Did you see what he did?
Umbrella lives matter.
They absolutely do.
But apparently not to our president.
And I'll just read what they posted with it. And it's a video of Trump ascending the steps to Air Force One. And when he gets to the top of the steps, he just puts the umbrella down. He doesn't close it and just puts it down.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Watch," in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump abandons his open umbrella at the door to Air Force One while departing for Indianapolis on Saturday.
Abandons it. That thoughtless, unthinking, callous. I mean, how'd this guy get to be president?
Guys, why is that a story?
Because Trump.
If it just said, "Watch as Trump heads on Air Force One, departing for Indianapolis on set." Okay, he's departing. That's news. The president travels. Got it. What does the umbrella have to do with it? I guess they were insinuating that he did something wrong by not closing the umbrella or just putting it down. Okay. Is it odd? Okay, maybe a little bit.
I'm not even sure that it's...
Well, no, because sometimes people will leave an umbrella open, even as you go into a house or outside or whatever, so it can dry.
They were hoping that he would do the whole, because it looked a little windy. They were hoping he would do the whole, try to close it, and the thing would go upside down and blow in. And you go, look, he can't even close an umbrella.
Right. Is the point that he's out of touch? That people close the umbrella? He has to have people close it for him. He's just, what is the point?
There is no point. That's just it. It's
MSNBC could have asked with this video a really important question. If they were not so biased, if they were not so hell-bent on making Trump look bad, they could have asked this very important question about the umbrella. Did it happen before or after the attack on the Pittsburgh synagogue?
Was his mind elsewhere?
No. What I'm saying is, maybe this triggered.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I posted something like that, and most people got it. There were a few who didn't get it. Doc, I don't see why it matters. What is? That is the point.
Yeah.
You have a shooting at a synagogue that ends up murdering 11 people. And we know we're divided on those. You've got a caravan heading to the U.S. The midterm elections were less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
All of that going on. And look at the president who doesn't close his umbrellas.
Right. Yeah. It is stunning. And again, I don't know how we come back from all this.
It's so ridiculous.
It is crazy, but that is the ledge upon which we find ourselves. And how we got driven out to that ledge is I don't guess it's a mystery. I think if you trace it all the way back, it's obvious how we got here, but I don't know how we get back off the ledge.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right, I do have a clip of MSNBC. This is specifically Chuck Todd and that Willie guy.
Well, you almost got his name right. Willie
Geist.
Willie Geist.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. That's his name. Willie.
Anyways, they suggest that the voters, well, you know what? I'll let Chuck Todd and Willie
Geist
discuss this, and I'll let you figure it out. Here we go.
We have a problem, and we have a president who doesn't seem to believe he has a role to play in dealing with it. And I think that is what is making...
This is the synagogue they're specifically talking about now.
We have a problem, and we have a president who doesn't seem to believe he has a role to play in dealing with it. And I think that...
Does the president not believe he has a role to play?
The president knows...
I don't know if he does or not. Okay.
It's what is making this more of a uncomfortable situation in our politics.
So what, Chuck, changes here? You and I have sat here on how many Sunday mornings and talked in the day after something like this about rhetoric. And from the top down, you mentioned the president, but in our politics, generally speaking, there's no sign, beginning with the president, that he's going to change his approach to politics, the no-holds-barred, going out and having his rally anyway yesterday in Illinois and doing what he does. Is this going to get better?
Did you notice that? So, again, Chuck, the president believes he has no role to play in this. The president not playing a role is also playing a role.
That's true.
Okay. A difference of opinion, different politics, different governing styles, maybe, you know what? This was a local issue.
Yeah.
It's a murder.
Yes.
It's not a federal issue.
No.
It's an attack. A series of murders, multiple laws violated. Those would be state and local laws. So why not let the people of Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania handle this? So what does Chuck want? So Willie then goes to one angle. Was he going to change his rally styles? In other words, it's Trump's fault.
Yes.
And unless he changes his rally styles, this stuff will continue.
Yeah. And any future heinous crimes will be Trump's fault.
See, here's the thing. The guy with the fake bombs was a Trump supporter.
Right. Well, was he? In theory.
Right. Yes. Was a Trump supporter. Right. Okay, great.
Right.
Doesn't mean that Trump did anything wrong.
No. The guy who shot Scalise, was a Sanders supporter.
Right.
That doesn't make it Bernie Sanders' fault.
You know what? So if this guy who shot the people in the synagogue happened to love Pizza Hut.
Oh, it'd be Pizza Hut's fault.
Does Pizza have to shut down?
Oh, they
Do they
should.
have to change?
Absolutely.
Are they adding too much pepperoni or not enough that may have triggered somebody?
By these rules, yes. By these standards, yes. It's their fault.
You know, he loves himself a good Schlitz malt liquor.
And they should stop making it.
They think they actually
for other reasons
have, but that's not.
It's awful.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a candidate. So somebody liking a candidate is not the candidate's fault. It's the nonsense when they're like, hey, this person is backed by the such and such extremist group. Okay, it only matters if the politician also backs them or have accepted money or something from them. If the group they can't control what people do when they go into the voting booth and say, all right, listen, I'm you know what, don't count any votes that come in from white supremacists. I don't want their votes.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. So the fact that this guy, the faux bomber like Trump, doesn't matter. They're talking about the synagogue. That guy was a Nazi.
Yes. Guy was an a-hole.
Yes. That doesn't have anything to do with Trump.
No.
Has nothing whatsoever to do with him or people on the right.
No.
But it doesn't matter. So Willie Geist is he going to change his style? But even if you believed it was because of the president's campaign style, again, where the hell were you when it came to Obama? He triggered people. He said outrageous things, even violent things, rhetoric. Going to take a knife to a gunfight. That was Obama.
But
to name one of a few.
He cared about the children.
And again,
cared about the children.
So Trump is going to change, yes or no? So they continue then.
I don't think it gets better. I think it gets worse because at the end of the day, the president sets the tone. People will respect. He sets the tone of politics.
And Obama, you didn't care about him?
Well, but Obama loved the children.
Okay. Sets the rules of how you conduct politics. Whether anybody likes it or not, he is the head of our government, and he is the head of our political world right now. And so he's setting the rules, and just like there's the rule in physics, every action gets an equal and opposite reaction. And so how he conducts himself is going to trickle down. And so until he changes his ways or sets a different tone, the tone isn't going to change. So the question's going to be, do elections matter, right? Does the election have an impact on this? And I think the question that I have, and I'm sure others do, is what role does this last 72 hours play in the minds of some undecided voters that are sitting out there and vacillating here? Do they want to send a message? Is this a message that they want to send out? I can tell you this. Politically, every time the president has had one of these moments where he sort of mishandled it, post-Charlottesville, things like that, he's had a dip in the polls. I will tell you, this is a bad 9 days for the Republicans to have the president in this kind of...
Almost like he's encouraging people.
Yes. Almost as though he's suggesting that should be what happens.
Pickle.
Yeah. Midterms 9 days out. Americans say they're fed up with this kind of politics. We'll see if they mean it when they go out and vote.
How about that?
But I like pickles. Why did he have to impugn the image of a pickle?
So it continues today. They're still missing the point. They're still missing the entire thing. They're missing why Trump got elected. He got elected because of you people. You people who do not like Trump, he exists because of you. He exists not because of Obama or people on the left were successful. Sure, the pendulum goes back and forth. People get energized. They don't like the direction of the country. He exists primarily because of you, Chuck Todd, and you, Willie Geist, and MSNBC and NBC and the Washington Post and other liberal news outlets. He exists as president today because you colluded with Obama. You do not represent the majority, the vast majority of Americans in your leftist crazy thinking. And we're tired of being gaslighted into this stuff. We're tired of being gaslighted where you're all in on the crazy and yet tell us we're crazy. We're tired of it. And that's the reason he exists. So you find him disgusting, reprehensible. You created him. If you would just report the news, stop with the opinions, stop colluding with Obama. Do you remember the meetings, the secret little meetings with Obama where the press, certain members of the press, went to the little private room before the press meetings in order to get their story straight?
Yeah.
This is what people are tired of. So don't pretend that you're above the fray in all of this, trying to take some moral high ground. You do not have it. You are part of, if not, the problem.
I miss Tim Russert.
Tim was probably on the left, and
he probably was. You never knew it, though.
And that's why I say probably, right?
You never knew it.
Hey, joining us now, Troy from Dog Tag Furniture. Hey, Troy, how are you, sir?
Hey, speaking of crazy.
Troy, it's good to talk to you again. I first became aware of Troy, about a year or so ago. We talked off the air on the phone, and he told me his story about how Dog Tag Furniture came to be. Can you give us a quick background on how you got started?
Yeah, approximately, it would have been 6 years now. My battle buddy took his life. His wife called to inform me of his death and that she wasn't going to have a funeral because she couldn't afford one, and that the VA only gives up to $300 and a free hole in the ground and a marker, and you have to pay for everything else.
Yeah, and those funerals are pretty expensive. They're, the average is $7,000 probably?
Yes, sir. The national average is $6,600.
Wow.
So she couldn't afford a funeral. They were going to cremate his body and put him into a baggie. I got a little upset. I said, pay for claim the body. We'll figure out some way. I started making these wooden American flags and selling them to raise money for my battle buddies. I've had 11 battle buddies in my unit commit suicide.
Wow.
We paid for 6 of their funerals, and and it didn't turned into a national cause about a year ago.
And so you got the dog tag furniture rolling, and then real quick, when you started making the first ones for your first buddy to help pay for his funeral, you got some resistance from the town. You were ticketed for soliciting?
Yes, I was peddling without a license, and then I violated ordinances code because I was making the flags in my driveway, and I was a nuisance.
I see. And then you've had some challenges in your town as well, right? They've challenged you for making the flags?
Yes, they've tried to shut me down 4 times now. It's kind of a pay-to-play system in this town where if you don't rent their buildings or go where they want you, they kind of muscle you. So, I've been accused of all kinds of stuff. My house has been raided twice, once by the local sheriff and more recently by the FBI, the post office, and the IRS.
Wow.
And you would think that I would be in jail by now,
Yeah, and so they've started raiding you because they've now claimed that beyond doing something that violates code, that your charity is some sort of scam or something?
Yeah.
Is that what they're...
that's what they're trying to claim. And recently, in the last month, the families that we have helped started coming forward and talking to the news media, and that's why the story kind of fell flat, because there was no sensational. And then, especially around here, there was a lot of claims that we weren't paying for funerals, so families started stepping forward, and then they're like, hey, wait a minute, all these funerals are being paid for. I work a full-time job, 3rd shift. I just got off work.
Mm-hmm.
They said I paid for a tattoo. It was at a fundraiser. Bunch of drunk bikers triple dog dared me to get a dog tag logo or dog tag furniture logo tattoo on my arm.
Right.
In exchange for money. They put a bunch of money in a pitcher. Alcohol was a factor.
So it was
cost me $90.
But it was a fundraiser, though.
Yeah, it was we'll pay you,
Sure.
and we ended up raising over $1,000 to get this tattoo. But the IRS didn't look at that very nicely.
Okay, that's...
Who did you piss off, Troy?
I know, right?
I mean...
the city administrator and the city council.
Okay. I
So
mean,
they
that's
just keep-
always
yeah.
what that stuff ends up is you end up, you realize, okay, I made somebody mad, and they're trying to get back at me for whatever it is.
Yep, that's basically it. And the city, the sheriff's office charged me. They couldn't find anything, so they charged me with disorderly conduct, which is like a catch-all.
Wow. Yeah.
And the judge, and we went to the pretrial, and the judge looked at the prosecutor and said, if you go forward with this, you're really not going to like the outcome.
Wow.
And then 2 days after that was dismissed, after the judge kind of lectured the prosecutor a little bit, the FBI got an anonymous tip that I was money laundering.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
And they came to my house, and I had and in my shop I have a locked file cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the FBI photographer there, and it was like Al Capone's vault when we opened it.
Did they find just
And
as
guess what
much
was
good
inside
stuff?
of it? Yeah, there was batteries.
Well, good. You can't have batteries, apparently. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah, and they those evidence boxes that they always take out on raids,
Yeah, yeah.
So what they did was they parked their cars down the street, and they go, we're going to parade all this stuff past your neighbors to make, to intimidate you.
Did they
and
say
so they
that
put
to you?
like a flash drive. Yeah, they did. So what they would do is they would take off their jackets and stuff when they're inside the house, and they'd put them on and all the tactical gear, and they'd walk outside with this box that said evidence on it. And I watched them put the evidence inside of it, and it was like my flash drive inside of an evidence bag inside of the box. That's all that was.
They could have just had it in their pocket, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was, and they took out 20 boxes, and they told the news reporter, we took out 20 boxes of evidence.
Wow.
Okay. See, Troy, this is all crazy. Like I said, your story I found really compelling a year or so ago. We helped you out. We heard about your story. We've heard of other media outlets saying that they didn't want to interview you or part of stuff, and that's fine. Yep. Everyone gets to make their own choices. But we wanted to help you out here for a couple reasons. Number one, we believe in innocent until proven guilty. If there is anything I mean, look, we said it with Kavanaugh and everything. We tell the facts. We get the story out there. If the prosecutor or anybody else wants to tell their story about you, fine. But a person is innocent until proven guilty. And so far, with our, basic search and whatever, we found nothing to indicate anything has been done inappropriate. And we know that you have done, and we know this specifically, done a lot of good. And you're the only charity out there that actually is burying soldiers, paying for funerals so loved ones don't have to do that.
Yeah, we are the only one. In fact, when this all happened, I was going to quit dog tag. I was going to shut it up because I figured it wasn't worth it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife kind of told me, well, the word can't is a swear word in our house.
Mm.
And my wife is like, that's not the kind of person I married to give up. So.
Wow.
And then the family started coming forward to our rescue, and, we just had to keep doing it because we're the only ones.
Well, it's dog
and
tag.
Last week we had 3 funeral requests. So what we're going to start doing to show everyone is we're going to put the funeral director and the funeral home and the people's names all over our Facebook page. So they can contact them if they don't feel that, the funeral directors, that is, not the family.
So it's is it dogtagfurniture.com?
.org.
.org, okay.
Yep.
Well, if you would, please go there, visit the site today, check out some of the cool stuff that you have. That you still have a lot to the wooden flags, I know, and you have some other things up there. In fact, we've had one of your wooden flags hanging in our studio for a couple of months here, I guess, now.
Yep. And I believe that's going to become part of...
the pack.
That's going to become part
Our
of the
Black
prize package for Black Friday.
We have a 260-year-old red pine that we're going to be making a 1776 flag out of.
Cool. Oh, wow.
And we're going to be sending it to you. We also have, for the MoJo 50 listeners, if you use coupon code MoJo50, you get 30% off of any flag.
Good.
Cool.
So we have all kinds of new lines. We do custom flags. We can put company logos on it. We do KIA flags for service members. If a family lost a loved one in combat, they can contact us. They get a free flag. We put their name, their unit, everything on the flag for them. So we try to do good, contrary to popular belief.
Well, we'll keep telling your story. Let us know what other issues pop up or whatever, and we'll just keep promoting it. I think people have to stand together in the face of being targeted by these knuckleheads or whatever. But nice job, Troy. I really appreciate all the help.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
It's Troy from dogtagfurniture.org. When you hear the stories of the people, and we know, 22 killed themselves, not any other ones who die. And active duty service members, I think, get $2,000. And veterans get $300. It's a small fraction, and your family is stuck with that. It's not good, and he's really doing some good there. So maybe help out. Dogtagfurniture.org.
What do you mean it's let's go?
All righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the morning. I'm sorry, the end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go today, as always, let's find out what we learned today. That one almost got it there.
Use the stun gun on you.
Takes a long time. 6 years. 6 years, buddy. 6 years. Just be happy I'm not saying 700 WLW on the air.
There you go.
WRVA. We learned Harvard has now launched a more obvious anti-Trump class.
Yes, it's called Truth in Advertising.
That's right. That's right. Their previous anti-Trump classes were a little more hidden.
Yeah.
We learned during his 2020 campaign, Bernie Sanders will go by his childhood nickname, LeBron James.
Who knew that was his nickname? It just doesn't seem to fit.
We learned that Brad Staggs, by comparison to people who speak Spanish, is very well off.
Yes, I'm very affluent.
We learned it's been a difficult weekend on CNN and MSNBC as they struggled to blame both guns and Trump for the massacre in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh synagogue.
Right, that does get hard.
We learned people who identify as a fiddler crab sometimes struggle to pull the voting levers with their little pincer. And finally, we learned that unless you condemn today rickets, cleft palates, and oak poisoning, you are condoning rickets, cleft palates, and oak poisoning.
Golly, that is so
Brad
true.
Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that if Yellowstone finally does erupt, it'll be Trump's fault.
Yes,
It'll
that's
definitely
right.
be his fault. I learned that Bernie Sanders is running in 2020 if he can stay awake long enough.
I think he's more walking, but okay.
I think he could do it. Also learned it's all fun and games online until somebody, and by that I mean everyone, loses their freedom of speech, and then we're all screwed.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Big time. I learned that I could have charged thousands, but I gave the Jackhole Nation free advice. Whenever you're arguing with a lefty, always respond with, "What I hear you saying," and then pound one in them.
You could
pound one in them. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Let's see here. The listeners over on the Twitter. First of all, it was Kool-Aid with a big-ass taint. Learn perhaps the TV media should learn from the print media before they, too, are gone with the wind. Or is it already too late? I think it's quite possible.
Could be.
Denny learned Fox News has the leg chair. MoJo 50 has the leg desk.
Oh, that's right, because from that side you can kind of see. Oh, you got me on this side, too. I'm going to have to start wearing something.
That's not a leg. That's a toothpick.
I could.
That is not a leg.
I'm going to start wearing something that reveals my
slit up the side.
Oh, and this is my good leg, too. My right leg's my good leg.
Really? You want a second opinion?
I'm at that point in my life where I have a good leg and a bad leg.
1,000.
You get older, you start going, that's my good arm. Right?
Yeah, you got to talk in my good ear.
Right, exactly.
Or look in Ron's good eye.
See, the left leg has the very close veins. They're very close to the surface.
Very close.
That's right.
1,024th Happy Beaver. It's a black umbrella. It proves Trump is racist.
That's right.
Right? Let's be frank, in PA, you learned that Caitlyn Jenner comes up when you search Doc Thompson because she had her Thompson docked.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's
I see what you did there. Let's see, over on the Facebook, Marie said, I didn't know you could Google on Yahoo. You said Google on
I'm
Yahoo.
sorry about that.
See, that's
it's become a verb.
It has become a verb.
Sorry about that.
Kinsey Richards on MeWe says, strange how people who complain about comments and ideas trickling down do not ask a question on what trickled down to cause Trump's comments and expressed ideas. Stop drinking this early in the morning, Kinsey.
I'm going to have have that one explained to me later on.
Yeah,
it sounds very sharp and well thought out.
We're going to have a meeting later to discuss the talking points of Kinsey's comments.
Can you have some sort of visual aid, like some sort of graph or
How
chart?
about I just have shots of tequila?
That'll help too.
That works.
That would help.
That
yeah.
really does work. KY Spunk and Bronuts learned I condemn that table, desk, or whatever the hell you call that contraption. It looks like something I would make. That ain't good.
Wow. Hating on the desk.
That is
wide shot, Ron. Let's see a wide shot if you're on the social. There it is.
This is the mothership. That is the mother lens. That mother lens makes me look bigger than a mother, and the desk looks small.
I like
you see,
that
that's
shot.
what it is. What it is there's actually room at this desk for 4 people.
Which we will need coming up on election night. One
Exactly.
night from tomorrow. I'm sorry, 1 week from tomorrow night. 1 week from tomorrow night, we'll be on the air here with our full coverage, election night. So we'll have some information like a lot of media outlets, but we'll have, unlike them, a lot of fun and mockery. Probably some booze on our end. We'll encourage you to drink along with us and just make it a party as we take another step down the hellhole that we're creating that is America.
We're going to do shots every time someone gets elected.
There's 7,000 people.
Oh, boy, are we going to have a good night that night.
So join us, and again, that'll be 7 to midnight Eastern Time, election night. And make sure to register for our Black Friday event, and you could win all of these fabulous prizes and more. Just go to mojo50.com. So those are a couple of the big things we have going on. And don't forget to sign up for your MeWe account today.
Yes.
Hey, I didn't get those new numbers on procrastination. I'll do them tomorrow. What else do we have coming up?
Oh, we've got an amazing array of topics and words. The words that we're going to use tomorrow are going to stun.
Will they be the best words?
We couldn't afford the best words. We spent all the money on the desk.
What does Matt Block have coming up?
Matt is discussing the synagogue and Beto in the caravan.
All right, that sounds fascinating. All right,
absolutely.
remember, your Daily Mojo today, Iran
Phillips
production.
Ron Phillips.
Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Anya, now you go home.
Very nice.
It needs like a name tag.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason.